Hi, everybody. Oh, I'm missing my little hat. Hi, everyone. I hope that you can hear me. I hope that everything is working. If it is, please let me know. So, it's not my birthday. Um, it's not my birthday, but we went to Target in search of a Happy New Year hat, and they didn't have any. So, I settled with Happy Birthday because Happy Birthday, New Year. So, happy birthday, Earth. Happy birthday, you. Yay, welcome. I'm glad that you all are here. If you're here and you can hear me, let me know. Last time we had some trouble with audio, but I think y'all can hear me. Hi, Enhanced Simplicity. Welcome, welcome. Okay, so I think, well, we are live. But anyway, let me know how you're feeling. Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome to 2023. We made it, y'all. We made it another year. And I wanted to go live because hi, yay, awesome. Okay, y'all can hear. Yay. Hi, Jamile. Welcome. Hi, Mara. I just saw you. Welcome, welcome. Yana, hi. Okay, good. You can hear me. Awesome. Yay. Welcome, everybody. I am so glad that y'all made it to 2023. Welcome. Hey, welcome. I'm so glad y'all are here. First again, starting out again, Happy New Year. Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah. If you don't celebrate none of that, happy. Welcome to a new year. Aw, that's so sweet. Thank you. I washed my face before I came, but I'm happy that you all are here. As I said, it's not my birthday. It is my birthday month though, and my birthday's not to the end of this month. But I went to Target to get like a Happy New Year hat, and they didn't have any, so I settled on Happy Birthday because it's the Earth's birthday. So we made it another year. I really wanted to just take a moment. This live probably won't be that long, but and I say that and then like watch it be long. But either way, this year that passed 2022 was one for the books for me. A lot happened that was good. A lot of tough situations happened as well. And as we were preparing for the new year, I was sitting in the car with my husband, and I said to myself, I'm feeling sad because I'm leaving my grandmother in 2022. You know what I mean? And that kind of hit me because I'm like, whoa, like, we think about all these things, like, what are you leaving behind in the old year? And, what are you picking up in new year? And I know that's supposed to be like a question that's supposed to be really, joy bringing, and like it's supposed to help you set goals. The Dark Knight says, "Now let's go 3 hours." Okay, but I know that's like the original question, and but it brought about sadness for me because I realized like my grandmommy is gone. Like on her stone on her gravesite, it says 2022 as like the end. So that was really rough for me. Just like sitting in that moment, I was very sad going into 2023. Like I'm happy I'm here, but I'm also sad about what I left behind in 2023. So yeah. Hi, welcome, welcome. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. It's good to see you. Happy New Year. So yeah, so I left behind my grandmommy in 2022, and that's a huge deal, right? Like that's huge. I remember leaving her funeral, and she lived in Florida. We were driving back home, and this is actually like when we caught COVID. But we caught COVID at the funeral. But we were getting sick leaving Florida. And we were leaving, and it says, "Thank you so much for visiting Florida," like the sign, when you drive out of Florida. And I was like, yo, this is the first time I'm leaving Florida and my grandmother's not here. Right? Like, it's just really weird. It's just a really weird reality that we live in. Usually around this time, I'm in Florida visiting her and my other family. But this year just felt different. So anyway, welcome everybody. Happy New Year. I just want to say that if you made it to 2023, it's a big deal. I feel like I'm about to cry. But if you made it here, welcome. I'm happy that you're here. We tend to take life for granted. We tend to, just like, oh, we wake up in the morning, we don't think anything of it. You know what I'm saying? But like really sitting there thinking like, who didn't make it to this year? It's a big deal for me this year. So yeah, yeah, 3 hours. Hi, Easier Said with Meg. Welcome. It's good to see you. It's good to see you. I feel that I lost a family member recently. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. I'm sending my condolences, and I'm sending you so much love. I'm so sorry. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard. Hey, Sean, I love you so much. Don't make me cry. I love you so much. It is a huge deal. I love you so much. Um, yeah. A lot of people that I know have experienced a lot of losses, and it could feel like bittersweet coming into the new year. Of course, again, because you feel like you're leaving behind something, and you didn't imagine your life without these people, right? Like you didn't count your life, you didn't plan for the new year without them. Now that they're not here, it's like, wow, like what do I do now? You know what I mean? Like who am I now? Like what do I give my efforts to now? It's like really redefining who you are and rediscovering other things to pour into. You know what I mean? So yes, yeah, I lost both my grandmothers at the same time in 2017. It was just a few weeks ago that I finally was able to release that depression from that feeling. I'm so sorry, but I'm glad that you released it. I really am. I am. I'm glad that you released it. Happy New Year. Oh yes, I pray this year is full of healing for all of us. Me too. That's beautiful. Happy New Year. Um, let's see. It was the deepest cry I ever had. Listen, you gotta cry. You've got to cry. I think when my grandmother passed, it wasn't until we left that I cried at the funeral and I cried during the viewing because I had to speak about her, and I'll probably share that with y'all soon. But I had to speak about her, and when I was writing to her. You know what I mean? Like I don't know what you're supposed to say at a funeral, but I was writing to her, and I think it just kind of hit me like she doesn't hear this. You know what I mean? Like she can't hear this, and so I'm doing this like talk and so this is not what this live is supposed to be about, but I appreciate y'all. But like when I left and I really grieved, that's when I started. I don't know if I started feeling better, but I felt a little lighter. Like I wasn't holding on to like this because she's my grandmother and so she has children and so I'm worried about them. I'm worried about my father. I'm worried about all these other people and I really haven't had time to consider myself. And so like when I actually got alone to myself, that's when I was able to actually like break down and cry. And when she died, the day that she died, I sat up in my room. I just sobbed. You know what I mean? I just sobbed because my heart was broken. Oh, Mara, I'm so sorry. I lost my brother last year. I definitely can relate. Yeah. Yeah. I'm sending you a lot of love. I am so sorry about that. So sorry to hear that. I'm happy all of us are here. Every moment is precious. I agree. And that's exactly what we're talking about today, right? Every moment is precious. Let's hit a record for the 2020. Yes. Can't wait to get the convo juices flowing. Yes. I'm so, yes, absolutely. Every moment is precious. I agree. Happy New Year. Yes. Sorry for your loss, Nate. Yes. Hoping for healing for you. Absolutely. Thank y'all so much for sending love to everybody. It's beautiful. I still cry. I still cry about people I lost in 2020. Yeah. I don't know if it ever goes away. I don't know if it ever goes away either. They say like time heals all wounds. I don't think that's true. Number one, I hate when people say that. I think that people just learn a new normal. You know what I mean? I don't think that pain ever goes away because when I was really thinking about it, I was like, I've known my grandmother my whole life. You know, you don't just like, oh, whatever, I'm gonna get over it. No, like it's something that changes you forever. Like, you know what I mean? Like this person's just not there anymore. And I've had conversations with God where I'm like, God, why would you make such beautiful, impactful people just to take them away? And I know that's a very like childish thing to think, but it really is heartbreaking to me because it's like, this person you gifted me this person that was beautiful and wonderful and they changed my life and then they're just not here no more. And of course, shout out to the folks who were in Get Unstuck and Get Started. My grandmommy was passing away before she passed away, right? So I was mourning her as she was passing away. And one thing that they said to me, which really helped me, was that even though she's gone or she's leaving, like I still carry her with me. And I know that's very cliche, but when I heard that in that moment, that really struck me. You know what I mean? Because it's like, we talk about legacy, right? And I had this thought about people think about legacy and like children and money. And it's like, we all leave a legacy. All of us leave a legacy, like whether it's money, or kids or not. Like, what is the story that you're going to leave behind when you're no longer here? Everybody leaves a legacy. Is it going to be good? That's the question. It's not, is it going to be? It is. But what is the legacy you're going to leave? And I think for me, when I was at my grandmother's funeral and hearing all the things that people said and not even, when people go to funerals and they lie and they say nice things about people and it's not true, but they just want to say nice things. No, everything everyone said at her funeral was true. It was true. And one thing that my grandmother left behind, the legacy was to cherish every moment, sorry, y'all, the emotions, to cherish every moment, to live to live no matter what life is looking like, to and to be grateful. Like when I tell you my grandmother lived, she lived. Okay? She lived. Like she didn't wait for anyone's permission. She didn't, wait for anyone to get it. She lived. And she was so unashamed, unapologetically herself. And that is a legacy that she's leaving behind for me. So for all of you all experiencing loss, my heart goes out to you. I feel you. I don't think, like, yes, there is healing, but there is also, I think it's beautiful, right? That like we feel the sorrow because it means like the love that we had for them is real. You know what I mean? Like the love, the impact they had on our lives are real. And tears are okay. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing wrong with crying. Excuse me, I'm gonna get a tissue. Um, there's nothing wrong with crying because again, it's just an outward display of how much they were loved and cherished and how much they'll be missed, So whatever it is, if it's a person, if it's a relationship, if it's a job, like if you're mourning anything going into the new year, I feel you. It's like this, like, yes, I'm happy to be here, but also I wish that they were here too. So much love to you all. I'm sending you all so much love. But I do want to talk about, which I didn't even plan on, my grandmother's legacy, which is to live and to be present in every single day and to be grateful for everything and to make the most out of what you have. You don't need anything more. Like what you have is enough. And my grandmother lived in that enoughness for as long as I've known her, right? Like, and of course I can't speak to who she was back in the day because I wasn't there. But the woman that I know, this was enough. Like what she had was enough. Who she was enough. And she knew that, and she carried that confidence out in her everyday life, the gratitude, all of it. Like this was a woman who was fiery and was just beautiful in every single way. You know what I mean? Like just, how people who just want for nothing, like even if they do want something, you don't know it. Like they just kind of like, whatever. I'm good. I'm happy. I'm content. That's the word. She was content in every season with everything she had. She always had the right thing to say. She allowed you to express yourself without I remember crying in front of her and she never told me don't cry. And, no, she's like, no, it's okay. And also that sucks. You know what I mean? So anyway, I appreciate y'all. Happy New Year. I'm glad that you all are here. I'm glad that you all have made it. Because I don't mean that as a cliche. I'm serious. Like I'm glad that you all are here. Like I said, a lot of stuff happened last year that helped me change my perspective on a few things. And I hate that death has to do that, but it does. It really humbles us and it makes us aware of what we're missing or what, who we're being, if it's authentic or not. Anyway, I miss my grandmama, y'all. I miss her. And Christmas just ain't the same without her. You know what I mean? It's just not the same. So the thumbnail for this photo, actually, let me go to the comments because y'all are saying great things. Let me get myself together. I totally understand the season is rough. Yeah, dealing with grief. I agree. Yeah, I'm so sorry, Mara. I wish everyone healing as well. Me too. And understand that healing is going to have good days and bad days. You know what I mean? You are where you need to be. And if today all you do is cry, that's okay. You know what I mean? Like that's a part of the healing process. I don't want you to think, because I think that some people think that healing is a destination, where I really think that healing is just like the movement. Like it's literally just the movement of it. It's not like, I don't know if we ever get to a place where we're completely healed of everything. You know what I'm saying? Like we live in a fallen world. It's trash here. There's always going to be something, you know what I mean? But what we can do is do the best with what we have. And healing is not, shout out to, I think Alex L said it. I think I saw her say it first. Healing is not linear. It's not. It's really not. It's not like this. It's like, then circle back and then start over and then go back to the front, right? And then also there are levels to grief, right? So like on one level, you might be sad, oh, they're not here anymore. And then you're grieving what life would look like if they were still here. You know what I mean? And then you're grieving, like, you know what I'm saying? Like all these things, there are certain levels. And then like with death comes family stuff. You know what I mean? My dad was at my grandmother's funeral and he and I have not spoken, like hung out face to face in years. Like I hadn't seen this man in years. And so that was a whole other level. It's just like really, this year really did a number, did a doozy. So yeah, so hi Tasha. Welcome, welcome. That's an absolutely valid question and feeling to, yeah, like why would you create someone so beautiful and take them away? It don't make sense. It don't make sense. I feel that when my family member passed away recently, oh, I'm so sorry. I felt like something shifted. Yeah. Yeah, I get that. I understand that. Hi, Lucille. Welcome, welcome. All of us leave a legacy. Yes, we do. All of us leave a legacy, whether we want to or not, we do, right? Like, and so what is your legacy going to be? That's the question. That's the question you have to answer. And that's the autonomy you have in your life, you know? I've lost people before, but the last people I've lost have been pillars of my family. Yes. And it feels different. I wonder where we would go from here. Yeah. Yeah. And mourning that too, right? Like, are we the adults now? Are we supposed to have the answers? Like, what am I doing without my elders? You feel me? Like, what's happening? And the best that we can do is carry on their legacy, right? Carry on their wisdom so that we're not starting from scratch. But it's crazy because even as kids, you think people are going to live forever. You think they're going to be around forever. And there are questions you don't ask or things you don't inquire about that you're like, damn, I wish I would have asked that question. I wish I would have said this thing. And I have to make peace with that, right? And it's crazy because the year before COVID, I got to interview my grandmother. Her birthday is 2 days before mine. So that's a whole other thing. Her birthday is 2 days before mine. And so we were in Florida celebrating with her, and I got to sit down and interview her. And I got to ask her questions I've never asked before as an adult, right? Like, and so she told me about her upbringing. She told me about her sex life, which is like, grandmommy, you know what I mean? With no shame. Like, girl, yes, I'm a woman with needs, okay? She would talk about growing up in Savannah. That's where she's from. All her family's from. She would talk about these things, and these are the sides of my grandmother I never got to see because we're always so used to seeing our elders as like, oh, that's my grandma. But no, she's a whole woman with a whole story with things that you can use to better your life too. You know what I mean? Like, that's the beauty of our elders. They're there for us too. Like, and I'm just glad that I got to have that conversation in 2020 because of course in 2020, January 2020, that's when I went to go visit her and interview her and celebrate her birthday. And then that March, everything shut down. And for 2 years, I didn't get to hang out with my grandmother. And in 2022, that's when she passed away. And I was hoping that we would be able to hang out with like family like we used to. And it just wasn't the same, without her. So anyway, I'm late, but you're not late. You're on time. We just started. I want to say happy birthday. Oh, thank you. So this is my birthday month, but I might just wear it every live we do this month, but it is my birthday month. But I wore this because I was looking for a happy new year, and they didn't have one. So we make do with what we have, but it's iridescent, which is my favorite color. I've decided iridescence is my favorite color. So I love it. Go ahead and flow, Leisha. Life is about being alive. I agree. Live from your heart and on your own terms. Absolutely. Oh, thank you, baby. That's a wonderful legacy to leave. I agree. My grandmother did that. Like, one thing, listen, if she was up out of here making her way out, she did that. My grandmother did that. You feel me? And so I think that's why, like, there's good grief that I have. Like, there's sadness, of course, that she's not here. There is, the feeling of having someone taken from you. Like, I still have those feelings, but I'm grieving in a good way because my grandmother lived a very good life. She lived multiple lives. This is a woman who escaped an abuser, who moved out on her own, who found love later on in life. Like, and this man adored her. My granddaddy, like, adored her. Like, this is a woman who changed my life and the lives of so many. A woman of faith. And when I say faith, I don't even mean like Christian. I mean, yeah, like she believed in God, but I mean like faith. Like, I'm choosing myself and my wellness and my kids' goodness above everything else. Screw it all. Let the chips fall where they may. If that was a person, that's my grandmommy. That's my grandmommy. And I love that. But yes, let it all out. We always appreciate you sharing your tender side. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate y'all for real. Thank you. I appreciate that. Tasha, you don't need permission to live on absolutely. She did not ask nobody for no permission. And when she got older, she got even spicier. And so my aunts would be like, Mom, you can't say that. And she's like, what? Girl, I'm grown. And she was. So yes, my aunt died this Christmas. I'm so sorry They buried her on New Year's Eve and I didn't go. I didn't want to bring in the new year with death. I'm sorry. No, I understand. Listen, there's no shame. There's no guilt. Like the honestly, funerals, I mean, even though people go to pay their respects, I do think that a lot of it is for us, right? Like it's for us to remember, it's for us to celebrate them. You know, you pay your last respects, but it's really just a gathering where people can mourn together in community. And if you were not there to mourn, if you were not there in that place to be there, that's okay. You don't need to apologize. You have to do what's, you have to mourn in the best way for you. That's best for you. It ain't the way everybody, you know what I'm saying? Some people don't want to see the casket. They don't want to see none of that because they want to remember them as they were alive. I feel them. There's no guilt or shame. None. Oh, thank you for the heart. My granddaddy passed suddenly a few years ago when I was in college. If there's anything I learned from it, it's to live this life fully, unapologetically, and try to give all you have to give. Yes, I love that. And it's crazy because, thank you for sharing that too. It's crazy because I don't ever want to use death as like, you know, inspiration or as a encouragement to live. But the truth is that no, for real, like, you know, I hate to say it, but like at some point, you know, 200 years from now, we might not be here. You feel me? And so what legacy do you want to leave behind? What life do you want to live? You know what I mean? Like to live. There are people who, I know it's cliche, but there are people who didn't wake up this morning. And we're not living because we're afraid of what people will say or think or do. And it really just puts everything into perspective. It's sobering because it's like, none of this matters. Like none of this matters. No, nobody's opinion of me. No, like, cause they're going to talk about me till after I die. And then they're going to die. And then no one's going to talk about me ever again. Right. Like, you know what I mean? Unless like I become some sort of person in a history book or something. For the most part, it's like, you know, we're here to live our life. We're allotted 200 years. I'm being generous, but we're allotted 200 years. It's like how you want to live. You know what I mean? How you want to live. Let's see. This is why I say you're in your own lane on YouTube. You're beyond oh, I appreciate that. That really means a lot to me. Thank you. That really does mean a lot to me. Thank you so much. I'm most always content, grateful, and hopeful. I love that. I also love your name. Her warrior journey to freedom. Oh, yes. Healing is not linear at all. I love Grandma's legacy, living life to its fullest. Yes. Grief is very complex. The anger, the rage, the disappointment, the guilt, all of it. It's very complex and it's all valid. You know what I'm saying? Like it's all valid. You know, we had some family at the funeral who didn't want to talk to nobody and I'm not mad at it. You're mad. I'm mad too. You know what I'm saying? So I went through a death season of grieving my old self. I love that. I endured panic attacks for 2 years that felt like death, along with depression. If I felt lifeless, was painful, and now I'm on the other side. I'm alive. I'm so glad that you're alive. I'm so glad that you're here. I am. I think give us pause to reflect and honor our beingness. Yeah. In my particular spiritual school, it is said we can reach a point where we no longer feel sorrow after certain levels. However, we still acknowledge grief as a very heavy feeling for people. Yeah. Absolutely. Hi, Leslyn. Welcome. Okay. I know that's right. She said, I'm living and I'm enjoying my life and I'm having a ball. Hey, Marcus. Oh no, Yvette. Thanks so much. You're not late. You're on time. But no, this is supposed to say Happy New Year. It's supposed to say Happy New Year, but it is my birthday month. So we'll go with it. It's a theme. Hi, Vivi. Welcome. An enlightened person still feels emotions and acknowledge the reality of emotions. I appreciate that. I do. I appreciate that because again, I'm not knowledgeable about a lot of spiritual things, but I know that a lot of people like, yeah, you know, one day you'll rise above this and you won't feel anything. And I'm like, I don't want to not feel anything. I want to feel, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm alive. I'm a human. Having emotions are normal. And I think that some people, you know, take their spiritual journey, which is fine, but they try to like one size fit all it. I don't even know how you're supposed to say that, or they make it seem like if you are feeling, then you are somehow unevolved. And it's like, no, like God gave us our feelings. So I appreciate you saying that. I appreciate that. Elders are our guiding forces and angels. I agree. Hey, welcome, Tea Time Beauty. Hey, my first time finally catching live. Woo-hoo. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Thank you. Oh, thank you. My birthday's it's later on, but thank you. It's the 26th, but I appreciate y'all. Marcus on the main line, okay? Hey, birthday coming up on the 14th without my brother here. I'm so sorry. I didn't see that second half. I'm so sorry. But shout out to all the January babies out here. Hi, Ashley. Welcome. It's so good to see you. It's so good to see you. It's so interesting how things in a family can shift so much from one person's passing. Everything can change. Everything. Everything. Like, what do you do? Like, you're rediscovering who you are. You're also rediscovering your family, because what is your family without the matriarch, right? Like, where do we go now? Where do we gather? Who's making the cake? Like, I know that's very simple, but like pound cake is like a thing in my family. Like it's like a tradition, and it's a recipe that's passed down from generation to generation. So like, even thinking about that, like, I'll never have my grandmother's pound cake ever again. You know what I mean? Like, just simple stuff. Trying to figure out how to move on without them here. You know what I mean? So anyway, hey girlfriend, hey. I miss my brother and dad dearly, but God gave me a wonderful gift of experiencing them for many years. I try to think it was better to have love and lose, than to not have loved at all. Yeah. I think that's beautiful. Honestly, I agree, but it's hard. So when I love people, like I love people. And I know people say like, it's like codependent to like, no, I'm going to be devastated. I already know this when some people I love are no longer here, because I can't imagine my life without them. And it's not in some like, oh, I need you to survive to get along. But it's like, no, like, I love you. And loving someone is a risk, right? Because we're fallible humans, number one. We are fickle. We make mistakes. We do dumb stuff. You know what I mean? Like, so that's a risk in itself, but also the mortality of people, right? Like, considering, I think about this with my husband all the time. I just don't say nothing. But like, please don't die on me. And I know that's like whatever, but it's like, what am I going to do? And obviously, if and when that happens, Lord willing, it doesn't. But if and when that happens, I'll figure it out. But it's just, it is very like anxiety inducing sometimes. Like, I love you so much. Like, what the heck? You know what I mean? Like, I know it sounds crazy, but anyway, Alicia History Month. That's funny. I love it. At this point, it's 32 years of history. Oh, thank you. Your grandma's story sounds amazing. She was amazing. She is amazing. And what I love about what the people in Get Unsecond Started told me was that she lives on through me. That's a heavy, but I love it, but it's a heavy responsibility to bear. I bear the blood, the name of my grandmommy. You feel me? And so I want to honor her and I carry her with me. And so in everything that I do, I know that I'm not necessarily representing her, but she is with me, right? So like, I want to represent her well because she did so much in my own life. You know what I mean? I want to honor her in that way. That's what I'm looking for. Honor her. Yeah. Sitting on that front row hits different. Yes, it does. Funerals are for the living. It served. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Hi, Albert. I can see you on Facebook. Yay. Awesome. Yeah. We were having struggles with Facebook streaming. So yeah, I'm glad that you're here. Yay, grandmommy. Yeah. I called her that as a child and I just never grew up. I never stopped calling her that. Yes. Fellowship of family and honor, and celebrate. Yeah. I think I understand what you're saying. Life of the one who passed on. Yes, absolutely. He was always a person in the family encouraging me to travel, experiencing things. So I said, let me start doing that. Life's too short. Yes, I love that. I mean, I don't love that he passed. I love that you are carrying on his legacy by living. Because literally people, we mourn and it's valid. But like, one of the best ways I feel like I can honor the people who impacted me and changed my life is by living. I have a card that I read in the morning, or it's like a stack of cards, and it's like grounding cards to get me started and encouraged and stuff like that. And I have a card that basically, and I'm summarizing, it says, I am grateful for my ancestors and those whose shoulders I'm standing on, right? And I want to honor them in my own life. And so on the back of the card, I have the names of people who have passed on, whether they be family, but also like friends of family. So shout out to Marquita, her mom's on there. Shout out to Sean, your mom is on there. Like, these are people who have impacted me in such a beautiful way. And I just always want to remember that I am living and I want to live well. You know what I mean? Okay. So let's get started talking about what we were talking about. But I appreciate y'all so much. Hey, beautiful people, please show your support by hitting the like button. If you're enjoying, please hit the like. I would appreciate that. Yes. Okay. It says, I try to overcome my mental health struggles because life means a lot to me. So I'm trying not to waste my time here either. I also make music about my struggles and other topics. I'm getting better. I love that. And I think we got to be careful when we say wasting time. This is just an aside. This is my own personal opinion. I don't think that we waste time. I don't think that time can be wasted. I get the idea, right? I get the idea that we can choose to spend our time on things that are not fruitful or productive or seemingly helpful. But I think that if we're spending time doing what we want to do, is that really time wasted? If we're spending time having fun, laughing, smiling, relaxing, resting, healing, mourning, right? Like life is not just about productivity. It's not just about doing. It's also just about being. And I feel like, I've been thinking about this, like, am I really wasting my time? Or did I just decide that today I didn't want to do anything but watch YouTube videos? You know what I mean? Like, and I know this is not just necessarily for you, Ink Infinity, but just in general, I think that we're so hard on ourselves for being human. You know what I mean? It's like, you're not wasting time. Time is yours. You have it. It is a gift. How you want to treasure that time is a different conversation. But I don't think that we waste a lot of time. I think that we just spend time doing what we want to do, So anyway, but yes, thank you all so much for all the birthday shout outs. It's my birthday month. But this is supposed to be Happy New Year. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to the year, to the country, to the world, to the universe. Happy New Year. Actually, that's not how this works. Obviously, the year is about. So let me go back. Happy birthday to the earth. Yay. I'm like, wait, no, that's not how time works. God blessed us with life, not to work and survive, but to thrive. I agree. Let go of that stronghold to control when we're not meant to. Let go and clench your jaw and breathe. Yes, please unclench your jaw and breathe. I agree. Okay, yes. Hi, Winged Wolf 500. It's so good to see you. There's always hope. It's okay to not feel okay, but everything will be all right. Even if not, it's okay to feel emotions. Absolutely. Happy New Year. Yay! Aw, you're so sweet. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yes, and thank you so much. Thank y'all. Shout out to the January babies. Hey, we out here. Shout out to Marcus. His birthday is Sunday. No. Yes, Sunday. So shout out to Marcus. Can everybody wish Marcus a happy birthday and all the January babies? Oh, shout out to your birthday too. Her warrior journey to freedom. Hey, yes, we're here. Okay. Excuse me. One question. Back to the neutral. Excuse me. Alicia Renice, what about patriarchal families? Seen many where the granddad held the family together too. They exist. They exist. I think that's wonderful. Just for me, my grandmother was the last one living. My granddaddy was amazing. I love my granddaddy. My granddaddy taught me what it is to be a gentleman, what to accept, what not to accept. He grilled my husband when I took him down there to come meet them. My granddaddy was amazing, but he unfortunately passed on before her. So she was the only one left. And the same with my mother's side. My pop passed away before my grandma. So, So yeah, I mean, they exist. It's just, for me, from my own personal experience, my grandmothers were the one left. So yeah, it is a lot of January babies. A lot of January babies. That's why I vibe with y'all. Y'all are Aquarius, so my sister sign. Hey, yay! Shout out to you. My cousin is a Leo, and we're best cousins, if that's a thing. But yes, sending beautiful birthday wishes. Thank you. Yay! All right. If I don't respond on watching Wednesday, I'm glad your grandma's cool. Oh, no worries. It's okay. It's okay. Dawn from Cleveland, Ohio. Hey, welcome. Love your inspirational talks. I'm happy that you're here. Thank you for being here. Okay. All right. So, wouldn't it be time wasted if not the most optimal thing? Procrastination, watching YouTube in lieu of making appointments, paying bills. I think, I have a very unpopular opinion. I think that sometimes we prioritize things because the world tells us to prioritize it. I don't think that's some of the stuff we want to do. I think what I believe about procrastination, and shout out to, oh my God, what's her name? I'll think of her name in a second. But she said something that was phenomenal. Mel Robbins. Mel Robbins said that procrastination, which I agree with, procrastination is not something to judge yourself about. It literally could just be that you're tired. It could be that your mind is on overload and wants to escape. It could be that you're scared, right? Like, procrastination doesn't have to be this big thing like, oh, I'm procrastinating. Like, yeah, sometimes it gets in the way. Like, yes, please pay your bills. Don't be avoidant of responsibilities. But I think that sometimes we prioritize stuff that's just not being productive over just being human. Rest is productive. Chilling is productive. Recharging is productive, right? Me eating a meal that feels good to my body is productive. Me spending time laying on the floor and doing nothing is productive. You know what I mean? Every hour of our day does not have to be filled with stuff. It doesn't have to be filled with stuff. And I think a lot of people are uncomfortable with being still. A lot of people are uncomfortable with believing that they are worthy without all this extra stuff. That yes, even if I miss paying a bill, I'm worthy. Imagine that. You know what I mean? Like, and this is not necessarily to you. It's also to myself because I felt that same way. Like, oh, I got to time block my calendar. I don't do none of that no more. I don't time block. No, there are things that are due that don't have, like, they're not flexible. But for the most part, I just flow. Okay, if I got to be at work at 9, I know I have to be there. But everything else around there is up to me. If I want to lay on the floor and watch YouTube videos all night, I can do that. And I don't have to feel bad about it either. You know what I mean? So I feel like my time is wasted when I sleep for days, or your time is spent doing something productive that your body needs. If you're sleeping for days, you're tired. You know what I mean? Like, you're tired and your body's just telling you, I need a break. The world is so noisy and busy and hard and chaotic that sometimes, yes, your mind just wants to retreat and not do anything and not have to deal with the real world, using air quotes, because we're in the real world, right? And so I think that's okay. I think that we can honor what we need. Like, we're on information overload all the time. The news, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all this information coming at us all the time. Not even like thinking about the thoughts that you have in your own mind, on a daily basis. I'm like, we don't think about like how much it's taxing on the mind to be human. You know what I mean? Like, and then we're in 2023 where everything is at our fingertips. I don't think that we were supposed to take in as much information as we do. I don't think it's normal. I don't think it's healthy. And I don't think that we're supposed to be as productive as we are because we're seeing ourselves as machines. So just like me glancing over here, there's a Post-it note that's yellow. My mind is taking in that's a Post-it note that says yellow and it says the word ask on it, right? Like, while I'm talking to you, there's a lot of things going on at the same time. The world is exhausting. It's okay to be exhausted. You know what I'm saying? So yes, January 8th is Marcus's birthday. Yes. Sleep and watch YouTube videos. Yeah. I agree. For most of the past decade, I've worked many ishy jobs. Yeah, I feel you. For a while, I felt I wasted my time, but it helped me directly experience what workers need to be happy. Yeah. I love that. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yay. Oh, shout out to you. 18th. Yes, thank y'all so much. I think our use and judgment of time is relative. That's true. What one considers a waste, others considers a treasure. It's relative. Great point. There was a video I put out. Oh my gosh. I think it was about America is Violent. I think that's the video that somebody commented on. And I think someone said something around, like, along the lines of like, oh, you're just mad because you're not successful and, life's not working out for you the way that you want it to work out for you. And I'm like, when did I ever say that your judgment of success is mine? When did I ever say that money, cars, clothes, like these things that the American dream sells is my version of success? What if my version of success is living in a van and sitting in the woods? You might consider me a loser or a failure, but I don't value what you value. And that's okay. And it's not saying one is right or wrong. It's just saying that people are different. And so if I want to spend my time leisurely scrolling through YouTube and not doing anything, or just sitting in the grass, which I've done, or just laying on the floor, or sitting in my car eating lunch, if that's what I want to do with my time that God has given me and it brings me pleasure and it's not hurting nobody, you know what I mean? What's the problem? What's the issue? Hey, shout out to the Capricorns. Woo woo. I broke procrastination last year. It's all mine. I love that. I think, and again, oh, Kenny, hey, thank you. It's my birthday month, but thank you so much. But yeah, I think, again, procrastination, like there's something to procrastinating versus like being tired and just wanting to do something else, right? Like, maybe you're just not in a headspace to clean your room today. And maybe that's okay. Maybe you want to go do something else, and maybe that's okay. Is the world going to fall apart? Like, literally ask yourself, is my world or the world going to fall apart if I don't do this right now? If the answer is no, it's okay. You know what I mean? But yes, if the world is going to fall apart, or your world is going to fall apart, if you're not paying bills, if you're not doing stuff you need to do, yeah, that's a different conversation. That might be about like commitment or knowing your why, or, hanging in there, resilience, discipline, all these words we don't like. You know what I mean? So yeah. Okay. Yes. Is that a Capricorn? I think that's a Capricorn. Shout out to the Capricorns in here. I'm an Aquarius girl myself, but shout out to the Capricorns. Also, I know nothing about astrology, so it's me. I've heard that Aquariuses are supposed to be everything I've read about them. I mean, not everything. Some things I've read, I'm like, that's not me. Like, so they say that we're aloof and like something else. I'm like, that's the opposite of who I am. Girl, yes, I used to be so hard on myself for just sitting down and doing a jigsaw puzzle. Now my time is my time. Exactly. Rest is a real thing. It is. I promise. I promise you're allowed to rest. Agreed. Many can't handle the sound of their own mental voice because it hurts them. I agree. Me not doing anything is hard. Me sitting down, and so for you might see it as procrastination or as like, oh, you're lazy or whatever. It's hard for me to not do anything. So please cheer me on when I'm just sitting down doing nothing, okay? Like, like because it's my default to be productive because I used to think that my worth and value came from my productivity. But now that I know that's not true, I'm unlearning all of that stuff. Sitting down and being still as a discipline, as a need to humble myself. I was telling my husband this like a couple of days ago. I was like, for me, an act of worship is sitting down and not doing anything, not fiddling with stuff that's wrong, as far as, okay, not fiddling with stuff that I have no power to control. Let me say that. Because I'm not saying being avoidant and, leave all responsibility behind. No, but like some stuff I can't fix. And if I can't fix it, the greatest thing I can do is be like, okay, God, you got it. Because I don't got it. I'm going to go take a nap. I'm going to go lay down. So yeah, like being still and being quiet is hard for me. I'm not used to that. Speaking of sleep, I recently been concentrating heavy on getting quality sleep. I love that. When I tell y'all, I feel completely rejuvenated. I feel like a kid in the 90s again. I love that. And sleep is foundational for good health. Period. Rest for resistance was my 2022 motto. I work up rested and ready for 2023. I think woke up. Either way, love that. I love the book. I really recommend all y'all read it for real. Thank you. Yay. Okay, yes. Welcome to the 30s. Whoop, whoop. Oh, much love to you. Thank you. Hey, everybody. Okay. So I do have notes. It's just, we just started. I love this though. I love it. Thank you, Alicia, for sharing that book. It really changed my perspective on being productive even when exhausted. Yes. Like most people in America are exhausted. Like we're tired. Tired is our default. And we've normalized that. And we've created products around that. 5-hour energy drinks, drinking coffee. I mean, some people really do like coffee, so whatever. But like drinking coffee or, I don't know, how to, get 4 hours of sleep and wake up at 5 a.m. and be productive. It's like, girl, listen to your body. Listen to your body. It has all the answers. Like when I took 2 weeks off and didn't work, like before that I was napping during the day. I napped one day for like 3 hours. 3 hours. Now, shout out to Marcus because he told me I should have set a timer because I woke up groggier than I went to sleep. But I slept for 3 hours and that was life-changing for me because I'm like, you know what I could have done in 3 hours? And instead I said, you know what? I prioritize myself for 3 hours. That's a big deal. That's a big deal for me because I'm good for working through exhaustion and doing stuff. I'm like, no, go to bed. Speaking of the clean your room bit, you may not clean it that day, but won't the clothes, the clutter stack to the point where it becomes bigger than initial? Maybe not. I mean, I'm talking, if today I have to clean my room and I'm like, you know what? I would rather go to the park. I'm going to go to the park. That's just me. I'm going to go to the park. But also I have I have a limit. I'm like, I can't live in this mess. Like it has to get done. Right. And sometimes that's just my process. Back to neutral. I feel like your questions are very interesting to me and intriguing. Because I think, yeah, your questions are intriguing. I think that's interesting. Procrastination reminds me of ADHD. Now there are cases where certain people do have very fast minds, but the average case of procrastination is a symptom of being miserable. Speak facts. You're procrastinating because you don't want to do it. You don't want to do it. And for the people who procrastinate or like feel like it's a burden to clean their room, some people have hired help. Some people have asked for help. Me and my husband just cleaned the house, and I asked him for help. I mean, obviously he would have helped me in general. Like my husband washes dishes because I hate washing dishes. I hate it. So he washed the dishes. But like, you're supposed to have your house clean before the new year. We did not get that done. It's okay. We're still here though, and we still blessed. But yeah, like ask for help. You don't have to do everything by yourself. And we were just on, shout out to Prince Petty. I don't know if you hear, but we were just talking about like community. That's when I kind of dipped out. And I think that we're so used to doing everything by ourselves, and that's why we're so tired. It's not normal to do everything by yourself. It's not normal. You know what I mean? So yeah, like you're one person and you have all this house, for example. I don't know, maybe you don't, but if you have all this house and you have all these rooms to clean, when are you going to have time to actually sit down and just be? You're always going to be doing something, upkeeping something, fixing something. That's why some people opt out of living in homes and live in apartments because they don't have time. They don't want to. Or some people live in smaller places or, tiny homes. Like people choosing, shout out to Stephanie Perry, choosing ease in their life, right? Like to avoid feeling so burdened. I know for me, the reason why I have to keep my area clean where I work is because I can't concentrate. I can't do it. Like I can't do it. I'm like, I can't breathe in here. And so then I go through a series, because I'm a very messy person. I've said this before. I'm messy, but then I go through a bout of like, no, I need to clean. I go on a cleaning binge and I'm messy, but I'm not dirty. I need to say this, okay? Because yes, my clothes will be thrown everywhere. They will. That's just who I am. I got things. I'm just out here. But then I'm like, let me get my life together. But having dirty dishes and stuff, that's a different conversation, because I think that's something else. But some people honestly mentally can't do it. Like you've ever gone into a person's home who might be a hoarder, or you've seen it on the show and stuff like that, and people like laugh at people like that. These are people who need help. Like some people are very overwhelmed with life and they can't do it. You know what I mean? So I think we just got to be kind to ourselves. Oh, yay. Thank you. Your talk is setting the vibe for the new year. I'm glad. I was diagnosed with ADHD in school because I couldn't pay attention, but the reality is school was boring. When it came to drawing, I could focus all day. Okay. Can I say this? I was diagnosed with major depressive disorder and moderate anxiety. I believe mental health issues exist. Okay. I have a theory though, when we're talking about kids, especially, some kids do need help, but I think the kids have it right? Like they're children, number one. They're sitting down all day for 8+ hours and receiving instruction. These are kids that play. These are kids that have a lot of energy. They need to do things. And you're telling them to sit down all day. It's not normal. It's not normal. Like, of course they're going to be outbursts in the classroom. Of course they might act up. They have all this energy. They're children. They're not workers. They're children. Adults have a hard time sitting still for 8 hours. You know what I mean? So I feel you. I'm with you on that. I have an Aquarian husband and mother, son, daughter, twin grandson. Shout out to my water-bearing loves. Yay. Shout out to the fellow Aquariuses. The system forces us in situations that run contrary to our natural state. Exactly. Then say we're the ones who are wrong when we can't adapt to the stressful nonsense. Precisely. I completely agree with you. I completely agree with you. Like, as a child, it's normal. Like, you go from, in elementary school, I think we had like an hour or 30 minutes of recess, I think, maybe. And then you're still 12 and you're going into middle school and all that shuts down. Now you're given more work. I also feel like homework is wrong. This is another conversation for another day. You're at school learning all day long and you got to come home and learn more and do more work and more research with parents who are not in school with you, who probably haven't done this stuff in years. It don't make sense to me. It's just not making sense. But that's a whole other conversation. But yes, shout out to my coffee lovers. No offense to y'all. I love y'all. I can't do it though. My stomach, and I don't do caffeine well. Tasha, welcome and thank you so much. Happy New Year. We as people weren't meant to be so isolated from each other. We need community. I agree. He meant no offense, just constructive convo. Okay, yeah. No, I'm not offended. You're good. I'm just saying that your questions are interesting because it's good to think. I think it's good to think through. It's good to ask questions. It just seems like, it was just a little contrary. So I was just, curious about it. But no, I'm not offended at all. We love conversation here. I'm also messy, but not dirty. Hello? Because there's a difference. I have clothes piled high on my desk chair, but I'm not about to leave anything that'll attract mold or vermin. That part. Me neither. Also, I also can't do no floor space. I'm sorry. I need to see the floor. And, we were talking about, this is an aside. We're talking about, so for me, bathrooms and kitchens are very sacred to me. Things are coming out of your body and things are going in. I need both those places to be clean, right? Like I can't I can't do it. I can't do it. But yeah, yes, that's funny. Homework is like working off the clock. Child labor violations. Thank you. Why is no one else seeing this? I hate it. And they're exhausted. They're babies. They're babies. They need y'all don't teach them with play in the first place. They're children. Children deserve to come home and relax. They deserve to come home and relax. They're decompressing from all the stuff they learned all day long. They're taking in so much information. It's a lot. If I had kids, I'd be like, my kid's not doing that homework. They're not doing that homework. They do classwork already. The truth beyond all is that we don't rest because of the fear they will be disappointed in us, whoever they may be. Speak facts. Speak facts, Cheryl. Cheryl's chatting for real, okay? It's the truth. A lot of us are motivated because of what other people think or say. Let's be real. A lot of us are afraid of what other people will think. Let me tell you something. This being on YouTube, and I'm a small creator, okay? I'm a very small creator. I'm grateful for what I have, right? But I can't imagine what folks who have like hundreds of thousands or 200 plus, because everybody has an opinion, everybody got something to say, everybody has a critique, everybody has something negative. Like it's too much, right? That's a lot of voices you're taking in all the time. It's a lot, which is why sometimes I be taking breaks. I be like, I can't do this. But like this idea of letting other people know that you're human, nobody wants to do that. Letting other people know that you're flawed, letting other people know that you're tired, letting other people know that like, you know, you're weak in some way, using air quotes. Cause I don't have no problem being weak. That's not a trigger word for me. But I do think that a lot of us are motivated by what other people think. A lot of us think that, oh yeah, I do what I want. No, you don't. I mean, we do, but a lot of us don't. It's okay to be influenced by your community because that's how we're supposed to live in community. So this idea, when I posted the video again, going back to America is Violent, I posted that video and a lot of is like 5. A lot of people had some things to say that were negative, and I deleted some comments and stuff, and people are just annoying, or people can be annoying. And one thing that they were, again, talking about this being successful thing, and I'm like, what made you think that I care about what you think about me? And I don't mean that in a smart way. I'm being dead serious. What makes you think that some, like a stranger on the internet, that I'm going to change my whole life and perspective for you just because you don't want me to think for myself? Also, are you triggered because you low-key feel the same way, but you don't have permission to do it? You know, does that make sense? I hope what I'm saying is making sense. It's like, you can be free too. And also, you don't have to agree with me. I am not God. I be very wrong. I change my mind about things often. You know, even this idea about procrastination, like that's a new thing for me. Like, am I really procrastinating? Or am I just listening to what my body needs? You know what I mean? So I'm okay with getting it wrong. You know what I mean? But I'm not trying to live my life for other people, if that makes sense. And absolutely, Albert, you can ask a question for sure. You don't have to ask permission to ask a question, just ask. As long as it's respectful, you can ask. Let's see. I didn't have homework when I was a little kid in England. It was great and we learned. It might be different over there now. Okay. Yeah, that's cool. That's dope. And that makes sense to me. It makes sense. School is wrong, period. I agree. Shout out to my educators out there, though. Shout out to y'all, because y'all doing the daggone thing in spite of not being supported, not being funded, not being helped, okay? Not even being seen for real, you know? Shout out to y'all. Bathrooms and kitchens are a must. Yes, they must be clean. By the way, I definitely agree there are legitimate mental health sickness. Yes. No, for sure. I don't think you're a mental health denier. Yeah, for sure. Where is my church? So we actually meet online. So that's my church. We do church in a very, I guess, I want to say unconventional, but it's not. Like it's how church was done, like in the Bible. So we definitely, you know, still meet up together. We meet up every other week and we meet online. We don't have a building. We don't have a choir, you know, we just sit around and talk about the Bible, which I like. So yeah, that's my church. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you. Okay, we have reached it. So I'm going to go to my notes now. Y'all can keep talking though. I'm going to come back to the chat. But thank y'all for being here. Okay. So the thumbnail picture of this video is me graduating in 2017. Now, if you have been here for a minute, you probably heard the story before, but it took me 9 years to graduate from college. 9 years. And a lot of things happened. I had a racist teacher, and I know that sounds like an excuse, but I'm being so serious. It was confirmed last year, okay, from another professional. But I had a racist teacher who didn't want me to graduate or succeed. She did everything in her power to make sure that I didn't do it. And so my confidence was shot. My confidence was shot. I didn't feel good enough. I felt shamed. I was older than everybody else I went to school with, blah, blah, blah. They're like, oh, you haven't graduated in 4 years. You're the worst. I was going through a lot of depressive episodes, horrible relationships, being poor, just going through so much. And also trying to work. Like, I want to do a separate video of all the jobs I've ever had. In college, I had 3 jobs. I worked on campus, I worked at McDonald's, and I worked at Lucky Strike, which is a restaurant in DC. So I was traveling from DC to Baltimore. Anyway, doing a lot of stuff, doing way too much. And also doing homework, taking 6 classes a semester, just doing way too much. And I didn't think that I was a good student. I was like, girl, you suck every day. Like, I'm around people who are like, yeah, I'm turning, because what is this, right? It's stupid. But like this idea, like you have to graduate in 4 years is not a thing for a lot of people. Also, college is not even, whatever. I wouldn't even go to college if I had to do it again. But I'm grateful for the experiences I had, but yeah, I would not do it. I'm grateful for the people I met, but I wouldn't do it. Because it wasn't for me. I am not a person outfitted for college. I'm not. So I struggled with college. It took me 9 years to graduate. By the time I graduated, I was 27. I was married and still struggling. And when I graduated, my teacher, on the way out, like they have these like receptions and things like that they have where, you meet up with the people that you graduate with. And mind you, I wasn't even really connected to those people because I didn't come in with them, but I was still there. And so I said farewell to my teacher, even though she was evil to me. And she basically said, Alicia, whatever you end up doing, I don't know what it is, but I wish you the best. She literally said this in front of my mother, my husband, my brother, and a few of my friends at my graduation. I was broken. Like, I was like, dang, is this not good enough either? And because of my experiences and because it took me so long to graduate, because I didn't feel good enough, because I was going through trash relationships with people, including romantic, with people who reminded you that you were like the worst person on earth, I felt like trash. We went to dinner after graduation and we went home. And I didn't celebrate myself. I didn't celebrate myself because of how I was perceived by other people. I allowed other people's opinions to tell me that I was not good enough, that I wasn't worthy of celebration, that I wasn't worthy of being seen. You know what I mean? Like, I crossed the stage and it felt good. And I did cry, right? Because I'm like, finally, finally we're done. But it wasn't that like that feeling of like, yes, we did it. We're amazing. Let's go to dinner. Like it was more like, I got my paper. Should I post about this now? Should I share with other people? Right? Like, it was that energy. I'm glad I'm not in that place right now. Like, because if I had to do it again, and I'm probably, okay, all this to say, I'm going to throw myself another graduation party. And when I was thinking about this thing, I was like, you know what? I feel like a lot of people sleep on themselves because like they see what they're doing is not good enough. They see themselves as not good enough, but also we take for granted the amazing things that we've done. So long story short, I was supposed to graduate in 2012. Did not happen. 2014, I graduated. A few months later, my teacher contacted me and told me that I didn't really graduate, that I failed her class and I would have to come back. And I didn't have the money because obviously FAFSA is like, you've passed the class. And our college had this A plus B plus system, A minus B minus. I got a B minus in the class. And because I got a B minus, I did not pass. So FAFSA was not paying for that. So I had to figure out how I'm going to gather my coin. I said, forget it. I'm never going to have my degree. But it was getting in the way of me working. I had a job, and that job I had to lose and get on unemployment. It was a whole season of just trash. I was on unemployment because my teacher took back my degree. I walked that stage and everything in 2014. I walked, I was happy, I celebrated. And she like kind of like took the air out of my balloon a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, oh, actually you didn't really graduate. And so it was a whole thing. I don't even want to rehash it. It was just trash. It was racism. There were lies. There were so many things that happened. And because of all of that, I walked again and I was like, I'm not good enough. I feel like a fraud. I feel like, I don't know, less than the scum of the earth. You know what I'm saying? Like, I felt like trash. And so again, I felt shamed around being behind in life. And again, when I graduated, I was not able to be fully present because my confidence was shot. And I never had a graduation cookout, a party, nothing. And I feel really bad about that. I feel really bad about that because looking back, obviously, in the moment I was sad. I was shamed. But looking back, I feel bad because I should have celebrated myself. Like, everything that I do should be celebrated. I'm a big celebrator, okay? Everything is a celebration. Me doing this live, after we do this live, I'm going to celebrate myself for doing a live. Like, I'm very much that. But during that, I could not celebrate myself because I didn't see myself as worthy, right? And so, I think about, I'm really proud of this moment, right? Because it took a while for me to get here, for me to love myself for who I really am, for me to see myself as not broken or misshapen. Or I used to think that I was God's stepchild. I would say that all the time. I'm God's stepchild. Nothing ever works out for me. Everything sucks. Everybody leaves, right? Like, everyone leaves. And I just wish I can go back in time and hug myself and be like, girl, you are doing the damn thing. You're doing it. You're doing it. You're not even just because you're persevering. I feel like Black people get celebrated for perseverance and like the struggle and overcoming all these things. Like, no, you're alive and breathing. That's a big deal. Because when I tell you I struggled with not wanting to be here anymore a lot in college, I'm here. I'm breathing, right? Like, and that is worthy of celebration. It didn't have to take, even if I never graduated, I would have still been worthy of celebration. If I changed my mind and, disenrolled and dropped school and dropped out and did my own thing and traveled the world, I would still be worthy. If I stayed in my mother's house on her couch, I would still be worthy of being celebrated and being seen. My worth is not based on what I accomplish. And the reason why I'm saying this is because we're in the new year, and I get it. We all do have these like resolutions and things like this. And we think that once we achieve X, Y, and Z, then we'll be worthy. Once we do this, then we'll be loved. Then we'll be enough, right? But if we're always chasing something else outside of ourselves to see ourselves as enough, nothing will ever be enough. Nothing. So even people talking, right? Like, people were saying to me, girl, you celebrate yourself because you graduated. But I put a condition on it, right? It's like, but I didn't graduate in 4 years like everybody else, right? Or girl, you got the job. Yeah, but it's like, no, like there's no but. There's no but. Like there is just this, right? Right, exactly. You did it though, right? And that's how I should have been thinking. Like we did it, but I didn't have that confidence. Honestly, my confidence was broken down so bad. I just wanted to get up out of there. And I was so focused on getting out. And what was crazy is, ironically, I didn't see myself as worthy because I didn't have my degree. But once I got my degree, I still didn't see myself as worthy. Because now I had to qualify it again. Oh, well, this person has their PhD. Oh, this person's getting their second master. There's third masters. Like, always discounting myself for some sort of reason. And I realized it had nothing to do with the school. It had nothing to do with my teacher. It had everything to do with her. But my confidence, right? Like, it wasn't rooted in anything real. It was rooted in things that pass away, things that change. It was rooted in things like that could change tomorrow. And if my worth and value is based on things and people who are fickle and unkind and cruel and selfish, right? Like, and even people who mean the best will still fail us. And not because they don't love us, but just because they're human, right? Like I'm putting all these qualifications on my worth and my value. No wonder I always come up short. We set these fancy goals for the new year in hopes of more and better and different, missing the greatness we already are or the greatness we've already done. Again, you made it to 2023. That's a big deal. And we become so entitled or so used to our lives that we think that what we're doing is normal, that breathing is just normal. There are people who can't breathe on their own, right? And not that we even have to compare them to us, because even that is a miracle that they're still alive, right? But there are people who need help breathing. There's people like you being here is a big deal. So anyway, we're making these goals, throwing away who we've been in exchange for what we want to become, right? We think that who we are, and that's my thing with goal setting sometimes. We have to be honest about goal setting. Goal setting sometimes is a distraction from loving ourselves. It can play as a distraction to loving ourselves. Because we think that if I put my time and effort and energy into achieving this thing, right? If I achieve this thing, then I'll be worthy, then I'll be enough. You know what I mean? We're tying ourselves to things that pass away and change. Me having a college degree, and I don't even know if this is true, but me having a college degree in 2012 is wonderful. But at this point, it's almost like a high school diploma, because now they want the degree or the master's or the PhD and 10 years of experience. Like the goalpost is always being moved, right? But we don't have to do that with ourselves. We don't have to move the goalpost. We can decide in this moment that I am enough. Actually, yes, my room is a mess and I still deserve that ice cream. Yes. I haven't finished the books I want to read this year and I still deserve to be celebrated. And also, I'm celebrating the fact that I stopped reading something I don't like. Like we don't have to wait for these resolutions to be resolved. I don't even know. Like resolutions to be reached to be seen as worthy and valuable and loved. And so I think that New Year resolutions can be great. I like setting intentions too, right? But I think that sometimes resolutions can be a trap. It's a trap. Shout out to Marcus. It's a trap. Shout out to Star Wars, right? Like this idea that like, again, because you get caught up in a loop and then you throw away, like forget last year was a bust. Like I've seen people say that last year was trash. And obviously you can experience some trash situations, like me losing my grandmother was a trash situation. But overall, I'm grateful to have made it to this year. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to put out another video called whatever, it doesn't matter. There's some things that people say like in passing without thinking like, oh, the only competition I have is the me of yesterday. The me of yesterday is not my competition. The me of yesterday got me here. I'm grateful for the me of yesterday. I'm grateful for the me in college who was making dumb decisions with dumb people, hurting herself, right? Like, I'm grateful for her. I feel sorry for her, right? Like, I want to go back and heal her. But the thing is, like, she got me to where I am now. Like, there's no wrong me. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing lacking in me. And there was nothing lacking in me back then either. It's just the thought, like other people's opinions, other people's expectations, other people's priorities, other people's values, other people's concerns. I lived my life for the most part for other people. My entire life was built around the expectations of other people. I forsook myself for other people all the time because I thought that's what I had to do to be worthy. I people please my way through life. And then I got to the point where I'm just like, you know what? I love that, Alicia. I love that you were doing what you had to do to survive. We're not doing that no more. We're not. We're going to sit on live and wear a hat that says happy birthday, even though it's supposed to say happy new year. We don't care. I care. Let me be real. I do care about what people think. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I do care. But I'm not going to allow those cares to dictate my life anymore. I will fight the thought. I'd be like, but they want me to. It's like, no, but we want to, right? Like, I will do the work because who I am today is worthy. You know what I mean? The Dark Knight says, I do think school is needed. Education is vital. It just needs to be conducted in a more empathetic, non-corny way that actually listens to the student needs. Yes, absolutely. And supports the educators. Like, because these systems want the teachers to do magic. It's like, y'all are giving them absolutely nothing though. Like absolutely nothing. But yes, thank you. Yes, I did do it. And I'm proud of myself. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Not Lucky Strike. I know that was stressful. It was stressful. First of all, going from Baltimore to DC and then working at a bar that closes at 2, but then the metro closes at 12. I basically went to work to take a cab home. But shout out to the sisters. I actually got to stay with some sisters in DC. So that was dope. I really appreciate them. I do. But yeah, it was stressful. The men were, men are gross. Because our uniform was a tight t-shirt, a short skirt, and some fishnet stockings. And my coworkers would tell me stuff like, oh, if you want to make the real tips, you got to roll up your skirt. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. Like, I'm here to serve some drinks and some food and go home. You know what I mean? And I get it. Like, girls got to do what they got to do because they got to survive. But nah. Yeah, Lucky Strike was a lot. It was a lot. I feel I had a teacher fail me because I was late for the final. Power failure. I got an F. Grade dropped from a B. I went to provost and department chair and no one helped. They're no help. Honestly, what I've discovered or what I realized is that these people are there to protect the school, not the students. It's almost like HR. No offense to the HR peeps. The HR is there to protect the company, not the people. So yeah, I feel you on that. I really do. I do. I went to my dean for my school. There was a record written that all I had to do was come to one class, I think, and then I'd be finished. She lost the paper. So I had to take the whole class over again. Conspiracy. I believe something else happened, but that's, I'm here now. Oh, thank you. Thank you. You're not late. Yeah, it was a lot. Girl, I started uni when I was 19. I graduated at 45. Woo woo! Shout out to you. I just graduated in May of 2021. All the stops, and starts, all the things that life threw at me, and I seriously regret doing it. Oh no, you do? You seriously regret going to school? Tell me more, please. I'd love to hear more. But I'm happy that you graduated. Modern life is trying at best. Yeah. Teachers can be so cruel. Sorry. excuse me, sorry you had to experience that. And I feel like I'm listening to someone share my childhood experience as I have experienced this with teachers too. I am so sorry. And teachers have the power to make and break someone. Like my teacher told me flat out, I was 20 years old. My grandmother had just passed, the one who on my mother's side. She lived in Philly, and I had to go to Philly to go help with the family because that's what you do. Like you go up there for a whole week, you help them and stuff. And I told her what happened. It's a whole thing. She was also Jewish, right? And this is important because this will come up in later. So I gave her, the information. My grandmother passed away. I'm mourning, obviously. I missed my grandmother passing by like one day. So I'm dealing with that guilt. It's crazy. Like, because I couldn't get a ticket to Philly the next day. And so she was gone the day before. So I was dealing with a lot. I told her that I had lost her and I'm going to go help. And she told me that I would never amount to anything in this career field, basically interpreting, ASL interpreting, so sign language. I would never amount to anything. I would never be successful, blah, blah, blah. She made me bring the, what do you call it? The program from the funeral. I brought it to her as proof that my grandmother passed away, because why would I lie about that? I brought it to her as proof. And she told me that something about like, she couldn't take off the days that I missed because I was up there and her funeral was on like a Saturday. So she was like, oh, well, this doesn't count. So I'm gonna have to bring down your grade. Like she just made my life impossible. And the reason I brought up that she was Jewish is because later on her father-in-law passed away. I sent her a card. I said, I'm so sorry, praying for you and your family. And for people of the Jewish faith, they sit and mourn for like, I think 14 days. I could have that wrong, but there's a certain amount of days that they mourn. She was gone for like 2 weeks. 2 weeks, right? And I sent, so sorry, whatever. She had no sympathy for me. None. Like she hated me. I don't know what I did. I have no idea to this day. And I'm honestly not interested to know either, because it's probably something stupid. But like, she was one of those teachers who enjoyed making students feel small. That's the kind of teacher she was. So yeah. Good teachers are wonderful and encouraging. Bad teachers can break you. Yes, yes. And so because when she said that to me, that I would never be successful, and this is someone who has been in the field for 30 plus years, when she told me I would never be anything, I believed her. I was like, I'm a failure. So everything I did was piss poor, because I'm like, why am I even trying? This is stupid. Should I drop out? Should I go somewhere else? Yeah, precisely. I used to be a teacher, and I'm so glad that I was kind to the students. I'm glad that you were too. I really am. Because you never forget. You never forget. Yes to another graduation party. I'm finishing grad school this semester while working full time. I may throw a party too. So sorry for your experience in school. No, I appreciate your kindness. I do. But yeah, it was trash. But yes, please throw yourself a party. Throw yourself a party. Yeah. Oh yes. Oh yes. When I look back, and think things over, okay? Honestly, God got me through a lot of stuff. And I know that sounds very cliche, but ain't no way in the world. Half the stuff I've been through, I'm like, girl, there's no way. There's no way that you did this by yourself. But anyway, so, yes. So again, we're setting these fancy goals because we think that our best selves is somewhere out there, when really our best self is right now. It's who we are in this moment, right? Like even with all the flaws, even being out of shape, you know what I'm saying? Even, what else? What other goals do people set? Even not reading, eating a cheeseburger, whatever. Like we're still worthy. We're still loved. We're still enough. And I think that if people knew that, like in their heart, that would compel them to do different things. So instead of I know a lot of people do stuff from a place of like lack. And like, I'm not enough. So when I do this thing, then I'll be enough. I'm going to make this schedule, this plan, X, Y, and Z. And so you're doing something, trying to prove to yourself that you're not enough, trying to prove to yourself that you are enough, but you're always going to find reasons why you're not enough. You feel me? But if you're coming from a place of love and like, I am enough as I am, I love myself, right? One thing I'm starting to do is reading the benefits of everything I put in my mouth. Reading the benefits of everything I put in my mouth, because I say I love myself, right? And again, it's not from a place of like, I'm trying to lose weight. I'm trying to be snatched. It's none of that. It's like, I want to love my body with what I'm putting in it. If I had a baby, I would not just put anything in their mouth. I would read the label and be like, what's in this? Right? Like I would be concerned. And that same concern I would have for these hypothetical children, I should have for myself. What is the benefit of this? So that I can understand what I'm doing to my body when I'm eating it, but also so I can have a greater appreciation for the food and what that food is doing for my body. So this morning I had spinach and like a Beyond Meat sausage and something else, and a mandarin. And I was looking up the benefits of mandarin. Oh, shoot, it has vitamin K. What does that do? Oh, shoot, like it has beta carotene, which is good for your eyes. Ooh, I'm learning. Look at me. Look at me, y'all. But that's coming from a place of love. It's not coming from a place of, I need to be better. I need to do better. I suck now. Everything sucks. I got to be perfect. That's not the energy. The energy is, I want to know what I'm doing to my body. I want to know how this benefits me. And I want to have a deeper appreciation and gratitude for the food that I'm able to eat. You feel me? And make better choices based on how I want to feel. Writing down food, eating intuitively, writing down how food makes me feel when I eat it. I know for a fact, if I eat Shake Shack, I'm going to feel like garbage. I know this. So do I want to feel like garbage today, Alicia? Do you want to spend 3 hours feeling like garbage? Or do you want to eat something that actually makes you feel good? And I don't know what it is. It's Shake Shack specifically. The grease, the cheese, something about it. It's good, okay? It's delicious, but I can't do it. My body can't do it. And, but some of the stuff we don't even know because we're not paying attention. You feel me? So anyway, and I think that love is paying attention to yourself and listening to yourself. So if my body is saying, we hate this, we don't like this, then I'm not going to do it. So yeah. How can they legally do that? I have no idea. But they did it. I graduated, walked everything, the big to do, went home, got a new job, it was during orientation. And a couple of months into my job, the homegirl called me and said, LOL, sis, your degree's not real and you're never getting it. And so you have to come back and come to school again. I have no idea how that's legal because we have, at the end of your senior year, you have like a portfolio that you go through with your teachers. So she could have told me in that moment that I wasn't graduating, but she didn't. She said everything was good. Anyway. Anywho, okay. That's exactly how I felt when I graduated. Getting my 2 music degrees was just about access to greater opportunities. Yeah. And that system is not really working except for a few privileged elites. I'm so sorry. I've heard a lot of horror stories from people who majored in music, and I wanted to major in music, but I'm kind of glad I didn't because I went to a white school. And I don't have, we know there's just differences. Okay. We just got to call a thing a thing. There are differences in the music appreciation at a white school than a HBCU or something else. Right. And so a lot of them said that they ended up hating music. They ended up these are people who are passionate about their music that they play. Some of them don't play at all anymore. Some of them play for fun, and some of them had to relearn how to love their music. You feel me? So I feel you. And it is about who you know and what connections you have and all these different things. Yeah, but I'm really sorry that happened. Let's throw a party. Let's throw a party. Can we do that? I would love to do that. This is low key a party, but not really. Let's really throw a party. I really do want to celebrate. I want to start my own school for Black high school students. That's awesome. I want a system that revolutionizes education and isn't corny as hell. I visualize it every day. I love that. And I think that's beautiful. Funny enough, I'm thinking about going back to school. Any genetics counselors out on here? Please let in Watson know. Genetic counselors. I never even knew that was a thing. That's cool. Alicia, I would love to have you on my nonprofit mental health episode podcast this week if you're available. Oh, awesome. You can send me an email. I'm going to put it in the chat. It's hello@aliciarenice.com. That's my email. Yes. So please email me. You breathing is a sign that you're worth it. Absolutely. That's as simple as it is, right? You're breathing, you're worthy. If you're existing, you're worthy. You were conceived, you're worthy. Literally, you were born, you're worthy. It's that simple. It really is that simple. And a lot of people, again, the world we live in puts qualifications on everything. There has to be classism, there has to be racism, there has to be colorism, there has to be a bottom. You feel me? There has to be a bottom for people to feel good about themselves. And I think that, again, obviously we live in this culture, so we buy into it. But really, the beauty of it is that you are sacred. Hard stop. You are sacred. Period. Without the job, without the degree, without the spouse, with the weight, right? Again, you're worthy. You're worthy. It's that simple. And if we just came from that place, what we do would be different and why we did it would be different, which would in turn, I really believe if everybody believed that they were worth it, if everybody believed that they were worthy, we would have more people in purpose work. The world would be served better. I feel like because we love ourselves, we would love other people better. I know that sounds very I'm owning it. I am an idealist. If we really loved ourselves We would treat the world better. Hello, like we wouldn't, you know what I'm saying? Like there would be there's so much benefit from people loving themselves. And so yeah, you still might exercise and stuff like that, but you do it because it feels good. You do it because you want to exercise your body because you love it, not because you're trying to change something about yourself. You feel me? Like there's a different energy. But yes. Hi Caesar, welcome. I'm so glad that you won that struggle. Yeah. Listen. We here now, okay? Can't stop me now. Do you think if you had more positive experiences or specialized in something different, would you have had a more positive light in college? Absolutely. Okay. I chose ASL because it's fun and I love language. I really do love language. I love words. I love visual, like language, like even with body. I love connection. Like that's my why. I love connection. And so that's why I majored in ASL in college. But I do think that if I maybe if I did major in music at an HBCU, or maybe if I majored, or who knows, somewhere else where I could actually be appreciated and cultivated and nourished, maybe I would fare better, because people have great experiences in college. It's just not my experience. My experience was not good. And also it wasn't just the teachers, it was also like the people in my life. Like it was wild. But I went through a lot of bad things. I think my thoughts though about college are still kind of the same. I feel like it's still a scam, but that's another conversation for another day. It's just absolutely ridiculous. But I love learning. Just not in that way. And so I don't know if college is necessarily for me. Like I love learning hands-on. I would love to be an apprentice to someone. But learning, sitting down at a desk, taking tests, anxiety, staying up late, struggling, that don't make sense to me. Why would you put students in a situation, in an environment where they're struggling and unhealthy to learn? They learn best healthy and supported. You feel me? So I might still always come up against that, but yeah, I think it would have been a pleasant experience. Absolutely. Speaking of worthy, I had to tell a man that my worth or value is not determined by others. I said I was worthy the day I was conceived. And was like this. First of all, this idea of worthy to who, right? Like worthy to who, and why do I care about whether you think I'm worthy or not? Like what I value in the person next to me might be totally different. So why would I judge myself based on their value system when I don't resonate with it? If you think, like I said before about the giving up the American dream, if you don't think that people are valuable because they exist, that they are inherently valuable and sacred because they exist, we're not going to vibe. We don't have the same value system. So I'm not going to use your measuring stick to measure my worth or value, because literally you can't give it or take it away anyway. God gave that thing to me. So who are you? Like, you know what I mean? Like, who are you to tell me that I'm not valuable or worthy? Who? I would, even the people that I don't like the most, I would never tell them that they're not valuable. Like, whoa, like how heavy of an evil of a thing to say to somebody. You have no value. That's crazy. Or your value is diminishing. Shout out to the, you know who I'm talking about, the men's on these podcasts talking about a woman's value goes down and she has, what are you talking about? In what universe? In what universe? It's just crazy. In every other culture, and obviously, right, like there are folks who want to have children who cannot have them, right? And so that is very real. But in a lot of other cultures, that's why value systems are so different. In other cultures, women who have children are seen as more valuable. So what exactly, you know what I'm saying? Like, why would I, and not saying that either one is right or wrong. I'm just saying they're different. And because they're different, everybody's value system is different. So if my value system and yours are not aligned, I'm not going there with you. You think I lose value as I age? I think I gain value, because that means I'm becoming more wise, right? Like I'm becoming an elder in my community. I can actually give back to the youth. I'm not afraid of aging. Like they try to use these scare tactics. I'm not afraid of aging. I'm not afraid of someone on the internet randomly saying I have no worth or value, because it's not true. If nobody watched my videos, I would have worth and value. You know what I'm saying? Like, anywho. So yes. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. It's not to the end of the month, but we're here. Thank you. You are your number one priority. You're worthy no matter what. No matter what. Even if nobody else values you, you value you. If no one else values you, you value you. You feel me? That comparison, it kills our confidence and creativity. I agree. 100%. Comparison is definitely the thief of joy. Comparison is the thief of, and it's also a murderer. It kills dreams, right? Like comparison, it kills everything it touches. But it sucks the life out of everything it touches because you are so unique. There's no way that you can compare yourself to anybody else. That's not how this works. If we are as unique as our fingerprints, how dare I? How dare I desecrate myself and compare myself to somebody else? How dare I? I am unique. I am a work of art. I am a masterpiece. I am Alicia. And that's all I can ever be is Alicia, right? And you are you. I don't need to compare myself to you. That's silly. Like we all do it, right? To be fair. But really, like it's disrespectful to ourselves to try to be anybody else but who we are. You feel me? We can always improve in all these different things, but to be anyone else that we are is an insult to ourselves. Why would we do that? And that's the thing. Like we live in this world, we talked about this before, competition, how I don't believe in it. I think it's stupid. Because everything else in nature that are same species work together. We're the only things that are same species that compete with each other. It don't make sense. Everybody can eat if we all shared. Everybody can thrive if we all supported. You feel me? Like if everybody had their needs met, the world would be a greater place. But like comparing ourselves to other people puts us, makes us an enemy to other people. And so we're competing against each other, right? So we're losing resources, we're losing health, we're losing wealth, we're losing life because we're comparing ourselves to each other. Like comparison is not just like, oh, I wish I had hair like this person. I don't know. I wish I had that person's clothes. Like comparison is also like how people, that's the beginning of killing someone's spirit. You feel me? Like that's the seed that's planted before someone goes on some Cain and Abel type stuff. You feel me? Like Cain and Abel, that was all about comparison. You know what I'm saying? Like people are dying every day because we're comparing ourselves to other people. There's nothing beneficial about competition or comparison. I'm sorry. There's not. Can you give me one of your Sunday service videos? Tell me more. What do you mean? What does that mean? Hi, Pamela. Thank you for your radical honesty, Alicia. Your words are healing so many people. Oh, thank you for sharing that. Thanks for helping us remember the miracles we already are. You are a walking miracle. Okay. The chances of you being alive or being born, either one, it's amazing. The chances of you being alive or born is 1 in 400 trillion. 1 in 400 trillion, right? So let's see. Chances of being struck by lightning. Chances of being struck by lightning, 1 in 15,300, give or take. So 15,000. 1 in 15,000 chances of you being struck by lightning. 1 in 400 trillion chances of you existing. And that's you being conceived, you being held in the womb, you being delivered, right? You existing outside the woman surviving. Like you're a big deal. Your existence is a big deal. And I think that we play ourselves a lot. We sleep on ourselves a lot. Our existence, our being. Also, you're being made up of like when I think about this, my whole being is made up of a community that wants to see me thrive. My cells in my body are working for my greatest good. My heart is beating, giving me oxygen throughout my limbs and my body and my brain, right? Like it's pumping without me having to tell it to pump. You feel me? Like that's a big deal. It don't make sense. That's a big deal. And I get it. I understand. Everybody don't believe. I believe. It's God. It don't make no other sense to me, right? Like it's why all the things that could have happened, all the things that could have gone wrong, and you're alive and you're sitting here saying, I'm not worthy because I don't have a college degree. What? You're missing the big picture. That degree don't make you. That job don't make you. That spouse don't make you. That career don't make you. That car don't make you. Them clothes don't make you. That hair don't make you. None of that stuff makes you. You're a miracle because you exist. You exist. So shout out to you, Pamela. I agree. We are worthy and perfectly imperfect. Absolutely. Like, who is perfect but God? I own that I'm not perfect. I be wrong a lot of times. Oh, thank you. Oh, no. Send me an email. Send me an email, please, at hello@aliciarenese.com. I don't know what's going on. People sign up for the wait list for the garden, and they never got it. So please, I'm sorry. Please email me at hello. I'm type it in again. hello@aliciarenese. Oops. Can't spell.com. Okay. Marcus, it's a trap on Star Wars. Thank you. I don't make New Year's resolutions anymore. I work on changes in my life all the time. I love that. Literally could just be like, let's just make better decisions today. Who do I want to be today? Literally a question I have in my little deck. Let me show y'all. I might as well just show y'all. So this is my deck of cards. I got that from another creator. But every morning oops, upside down. Every morning I read through these cards. They're pretty thick. But the word for 2023 is trust. And in one of the cards, it's like, the question is about what seeds do I want to plant today? Who do I want to be today? And who do I have to be to plant those seeds, right? So it could be like, oh, today I want to experience more joy. Today I wrote down in my journal, I want more connectivity. I want more connection today. And so what did I do? I went to the park with my husband for connection, to be out in nature. It was a beautiful day today, y'all. It was very warm, very nice. People were out and about. It was lovely, right? And I was able to hang out with somebody I like. You know what I mean? Like it could be as simple as that. Just making better decisions to honor yourself. Like sometimes my body tells me I need meat today, or I want greens today. It could be that simple. It don't have to be like, gotta eat like this. It don't have to be that hard. I feel like sometimes we're just not listening. You feel me? So yeah, I love that though. I love that. Thank you. Shout out to January babies again. Boop, boop. I need a button that goes burr, 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 burr. Yes. Happy New Year, Hope. Welcome. There's no wrong there's no wrong me. No, there's not. Aw, thank you, baby. I'm grateful I'm here too. Cause let me tell you something. Not being here seemed seemed easier, but I'm grateful that I'm here. I am. If I could go back in time, I would tell me it gets better. It gets better. I promise. I know it sucks right now. It sucks. I know you don't want to be here. And it seems like the easier thing to do would just not be here, to not burden other people. That was a big thing for me. I didn't want to burden other people. I was so sad all the time. And I hated being that person. But I'm glad that I actually got to be sad, because now I'm actually able to be happy. Like there's something about confronting your sadness and your depression and things like that, instead of running from it and trying to be positive and happy, because that's my default. My default is positive and happy. But during that season of my life, I was not happy. And that was okay. I wish someone would have told me it's okay to not be happy. It's okay. You have to thank you have to thank the you of yesterday, because that person created the you of today. Precisely. So there is no competition, not even with an older version of myself, because I'm not even who she is no more. That's not me. No, like that is me, but it's not me. You feel me? Like, that's who I was. Who I am now, I'm grateful for who she was, because I wouldn't be here without her, So, but yes. Did I send you my email? Yeah, my email's there. Please email me. I would love to. I'm grateful to be on this live. I'm grateful that you're here. Yay. There's no lack in me. I love this. Yes, ma'am. I'm a recovering people pleaser. Me too. Okay. A part of the reason why also I struggled in school was because I was a part of a group. And so I was putting in a lot of work for this group, but I was putting myself on the back burner. So my mental health was struggling. Okay. Finances, all that stuff was struggling, because I was trying to uphold this hope that people had. You know what I mean? Like I was trying to please people and carry on legacy and all this stuff. And it was just too much. My shoulders are too small for that. My shoulders were too small. Education in public school is now glorified babysitting. Yikes. I believe it. This hits so close to home. I didn't walk or celebrate my bachelor or my master's for similar reasons. Hope. I'm sorry. Well, I celebrate you. I hand clap you. Yes, you did that. That's a big deal. But I feel you. Good to know I'm not alone. Yeah, no. Yeah. What was this for? The Dark Knight? Sorry, I missed it. But yes, I retook the class and failed, and my professor was great. He even wrote the book. Oh, excuse me. I retook the class. I failed, and my professor was great. He even wrote the book. I turned a loss into a win. Then I took my 24-year-old self to teach high school. That's awesome. I thought about teaching high school. I think I would like that. But yes, obituary. Thank you so much. Thank you. I never got to finish school, but I was only completing school because I thought that's what I had to do. Yep. And beat myself up that I never graduated. Then I realized I'm not defined by degree. You are not. You are not. And I think that's the thing, right? Like, you don't need to blame yourself. I'm sure that she was a mess. She was evil. And I don't say that a lot of people, but she was very mean. But something you said you not defined by your degree. Yes. It'll come back. It'll come back. You did nothing. Yeah, no. Was that the same one who was racist? Yes, it was. So later on, long story short, I re-enrolled at a different school recently to get into the interpreting program. So that's the thing. You learn ASL in college, and then you got to go back to school to become an interpreter. It's too much. So I re-enrolled in interpreting school, and the professor knew her. And so I told her basically that I'm struggling with my self-confidence, just being honest, but I'm gonna try my best. And she asked me who my professor was, and I told her the name, and she was like, "Oh no, I am so sorry. She's racist." And I'm like, "Oh my God." Like, I'm not crazy. I didn't imagine that. Because, people will be like, "Oh, it's the teacher's fault." No, sometimes teachers are awful. Sometimes teachers get off on making people feel like trash. They do. Um, yes. Oh, thanks for the hearts. Yay. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay, there we go. Okay. A professor wanted to fail me because of taking a medical incomplete and having to make it up in his class. He literally said, "You should have failed." So much sexism and male down. I'm so sorry, Hope. That's trash. That's trash. That's trash. You should have failed. Yikes. You did nothing to make her behave in the horrendous manner that she did. She's the one with the deep-seated flaw that she visited upon. Yeah, I agree. I agree. You're right. Also, most of these metrics are made up. They are. It's all made up. I had this thought. I'm not an anti, whatever. I'm going to just say it. A lot of these people, even that we hold in like high regard, a lot of philosophers and stuff like that, which I'm, great, wonderful. I'm grateful for. I think it's interesting that we study these people whose theories have been found to be false now, and we're still holding them as these amazing people, which they are. I'm not denying that. But it's like, well, we won't give ourselves that same grace, right? To like make mistakes. But also like these ideas are changing all the time. Like what is education? What should it look like? What should it include? Like these are made up by people who don't know what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. It was your false narrative reflecting it on you. Mirror her negativity, insecurities, low self-esteem, low self-worth by dimming your light. Yeah. Yeah. I was really nice to her. I didn't get it. I was like, what am I doing wrong? Why do you hate me so much? Speaking of putting things in your body, don't forget to get y'all's vitamin D3 and K2 in winter. It's crucial. I'm going to write that down and I'm going to research as soon as I get off. Thank you for sharing, the Dark Nate. D3 and K2. Yes. I call myself a conscious eater. Ooh, I love that. I love that. Had this question come up in a subreddit recently. Do you think instinct, inherent personal value, and extrinsic external value to others, to the world, value is the same or different? Do you think the intrinsic and extrinsic value is the same or different? I think it's different. I think it depends on the person. For myself, it's different, but I think it depends on the person. A lot of stuff that the external values, I don't. Or they value something more than I value it. You know what I mean? Community for me will always be up here. Serving people, impact, that kind of stuff. Because even I think some people, even when talk about like value, like with resources or money and stuff like that, a lot of people, I think a lot of people just want to be stable. You know what I mean? Like people want to be secure. And so they see security as money. You feel me? Like, or money is security, right? But I think that for me, I appreciate what, even outside of money, I appreciate connection more than money. And I appreciate what money can give me, which is more time to spend with the people that I love and value. You feel me? So I think it's a loaded question. I think it's layered. And I think for every person it's different. But for me, I would say it's different. What other people value and versus what I value might be completely different. I hope that answers your question. Please, if it didn't, please re-ask. But yes. What do you do to override caring about other people's opinions so that it doesn't control you or dictate your life or choices you make? Ooh. So it took a lot of work for me to do this. I would always give in. I'd say in my mind, I'm going to stand up for myself. I'm going to say no. And then I say yes. I think there's no overriding. I'm stuttering. It's really going through, right? There's this, we talked about this before. There's this, we're going on a bear hunt. You can't go over it. You can't go under it. You must go through it. I think for me, like unlearning, as I'm still unlearning, to be clear, unlearning people pleasing. It's literally going through it. There are some days where I do stand up for myself and I feel bad about it. I'll say no and I feel guilty, right? And the temptation is for me to be like, to go back on my word, right? But it's like, no, my word is important and I need to keep my word to myself. I need to honor myself and my feelings. Literally having a conversation with myself. It is okay. She does not hate you. And if she does, was she really your friend in the first place? Having those hard conversations. What is the worst case scenario? They'll leave me. Okay. If they do leave you, what does that mean about you? And for a long time, that answer was that I'm not good enough, that I wasn't good enough for them to stay around, that something was lacking in me, but then actually facing it with the truth, right? So going through it. And it's not simple. It's not quick. It took a lot of work. It took a lot of unlearning things. But at the end of the day, I think the root of a lot of it was just lack of self-worth, right? So people pleasing, I needed to please people. I needed people to see me as valuable enough because I didn't see myself that way. Like they were my God. If I'm being real, my people pleasing was me idolizing other people and their opinions over my God's. You feel me? Like literally, what can I do to get in people's good graces? Which is low-key kind of manipulative, right? But I had a good heart about it. Like it wasn't like I'm trying to get something from them, but I kind of was. I was trying to get approval, a thumbs up, like, yes, you're doing the thing, Alicia. But I didn't have that inner knowing myself. So it took me learning to love myself. It took me removing myself from certain people groups. There are some people I don't hang out with anymore, not because I don't love them or because I don't want to be around them, but because they're not healthy for my mental health. They had me questioning my worth and value. And if I'm trying to do the work of finding that again, right, then I have to detach myself. And it hurt. It sucked. I cried. I still cry sometimes. I still feel bad about it. But at the end of the day, my wellness, my mental health, my physical health, the work I'm supposed to do in this world, the person who I'm supposed to be is literally at risk of being lost by trading in who I am for a thumbs up from other people. Also, getting around people who love me anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like I have friends on here who I've been friends with for 20 years at this point. Shout out to Marcus. You know what I mean? Like being around people who know me, and no matter if I say yes or no, they're not gonna change the love they have for me. You feel me? Like, because being around, what I've realized and what I learned is that by people pleasing, you lose yourself, but you also teach yourself that you're not worth anything unless somebody approves of you. So it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. You're people pleasing so no one leaves you. But then if someone leaves you, I guess that's the wrong phrase. It's not self-fulfilling prophecy, it's something else. But when they leave you, you're like, oh, see, people leave. But it's like, girl, no, you left you. They didn't leave you. You left you. You know what I'm saying? Like you're the one abandoning yourself. So, it's like you betrayed yourself in the first place. And what I also learned, I think at this point, is that like the people that I lost in my life, the people I'm no longer friends with, I know it's so cheesy when it's a blessing in disguise, but for real, like God had to snatch me away from those people because they made me feel so small. They made me feel so bad, right? Like all the time. And I'm getting around these people and wondering why my self-esteem is shot because the people I'm around, so to answer your question, it's not a simple answer. For me personally, it took me going back to the Bible. What does God say about me? What does God say? That's my mark. That's my measuring stick. Who do I know myself to be? It took me knowing myself. It took me getting around the people that I love. It took me removing myself from the people that don't love me. And being honest about that thing. Where do I feel lack that I need other people to approve of me? Why do I feel like I'm not enough unless somebody gives me a thumbs up? What is that about? Where'd that come from? And also understanding that a lot of my life, I grew up chasing achievement. And so who am I without achievement? I don't know what that is. You know what I mean? Like I can't just not do nothing. I can't just take the class. I got to get an A. I have to get all A's when I could have just got a C. You feel me? And anyway, but yes, I hope that answers your question. I hope so. Please look up the ingredients on those Beyond Foods. Oh, no. No, Yvette. No, I appreciate you telling me. I do. I need to look it up. I do. Yeah, because it's like, dang, once you find something good, it's like, LOL, girl, it's bad too. I'm going to start eating whole foods in general. That's what I really want to get to. But yeah, so much self-improvement is fine from a place of fear and lack. Yeah, like too much. Like there's nothing wrong with wanting to become better or wanting to improve. I hope y'all hear me. There's nothing wrong with that. But I think that if you're coming from a place of I'm not enough now, I need to become enough, that's a problem. That's an issue. I'm currently working at my former high school, like I'm a child. A lot of the kids angry and overstimulated. The kids they call bad are rude are truly bored. Yeah. Literally the reason why, so in Maryland, in PG specifically, the school system, they had something called Talented and Gifted. And so we talked about this before and how that's kind of elite. But anyway, that's a different conversation for a different day. But I was put in the tag program because I was bored, because I was a problem child. When I was in first grade, I remember sitting in a chair and kicking off my shoes in the air. You know, you're not trying to be disruptive, but you're 6, right? Like you're just there and you're bored. And my mother had already taught me all the stuff that they're teaching. And so I was bored. I was sitting there, I threw my shoes in the air, and they had to have a conference. And so then they tested me, thank God, for, I guess, I don't even know how they did that test. But anyway, I got in the program and then I was stimulated. I was not overstimulated, but like challenged, excuse me. So I went from being bored to being challenged. But a lot of schools either don't have it, right? Or a lot of children go under the radar because you're thinking they're a bad student, but they are bored. They're bored or they don't get it. And they're afraid to ask for help in the school with an overcrowded classroom, afraid to raise their hand and ask a question and look dumb, right? Like there's so much. But yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. Okay. Virtual party. Awesome. Okay. We'll do it. We're going to do it. I'm getting into the tech field this year. So hopefully I start making 6-7 figures and I can invest in building new systems. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yes. Phenomenal woman. Yes. Some ism. Yes. Has to exist and a negative label attached. Absolutely. Like in America, there has to be losers to be winners. It sucks, but it's true. Like there has to be losers to be winners in America. And so they're going to find any reason to disqualify you. Because I mean, literally everything is based off of the comparison of how great you're doing compared to somebody else, right? Like these benchmarks we have at this age, you should be doing X, Y, and Z. At this age, you should be blah, 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 blah. Or, are you on par with your classmates? Are you on par with like, sweetie, I'm my own person. I'm Alicia. I'm not such and such. You know what I mean? So yeah. I was planning to go back to school this semester to prove something to myself. Ooh, speak. After much reflection, I'm realizing I have nothing really to prove because I'm inherently worthy. Yes, you are inherently worthy. You have nothing to prove. And I feel you on that because I've thought about doing stuff like that before. Like, I should go to school because, like, even person, if I'm just being honest, I wanted the celebration. I think that if we're being honest, if people knew that they were worthy, they wouldn't do half the stuff they're doing. I think that a lot of people go back to school, and it's not everybody. Some people really are about their thing. They're passionate about their thing. But a lot of people go back to school for the graduation because like that's what's celebrated, right? On Facebook, that's what we love. And yes, get it. You mastered it again. Like all these things, like it's never ending. And so people keep chasing that high. They keep chasing this, like, I got to do something else. What's next? Do I get my, doctorates now? Like, what do I do after that? Like, it's a never ending cycle. But when you sit in the truth of like, I'm worthy, I'm enough. Let me take a breath. Like, do I even want to do this? Do I even care that much? Am I content with where I am? Like questions we don't really get to ask ourselves, But yeah, you have nothing to prove. Nothing. And I think, honestly, I think a lot of things in my life I did to prove something to other people. And it ended up kicking me in the butt anyway, because I'm like, I don't even want to be here. So my motivation is off anyway, and I'm not doing well. I had the same major, American Sign Language. That's awesome. Yay. Shout out to Deaf Studies. Ooh. Were you first generation college students? I was, and I was so stressed. Yeah, I'm sure it was stressful, but thankfully for me, so my mother went to college. My father did not. So she went to college first. She went to Norfolk State and then Lincoln University. So she went to HBCUs, but no, she wasn't the first sibling. She had an older brother who went to college. So she went to college and then I went to college. So it was kind of like, oh, this is what we do. Like, not this is what we do, but like, this is what you have to do. You know what I mean? Like, there was no other option. Like, there was no, what is it? What is it called? Not work study, where people, y'all know what I'm talking about. Trade school. Like, do a trade school or, take a year off. We going straight to college. It was also culture. Oh, yeah, culture. American Sign Language culture. Yeah. So, yes. Ours was called Deaf Studies. So it was like the culture and the language together. PWIs are especially trash. I would give my undergrad years back if I could. Girl, listen. Yeah, it was a whole other beast. And like, I grew up in PG County where everybody's Black, you know what I'm saying? And so like, it was a culture shock for me. Like, oh, this is how people act. This is how people think. The others that had that major on lock. Yeah, absolutely. College is a waste of time. Oh, 2 years of classes that you do not use ever in life. Okay. So this is part of the reason why I say college is a scam at this point in life, because I already did my gen eds in high school. Like, I don't need to explore anything. I'm here for a reason. This is why I'm here. Give me my classes so I can get out. But they want you to stay and do full time and take, because it's more money for them, you know? Oh, thank you for joining the membership. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome. Welcome. Danny. Hi. It's so good to see you. We went to high school together, y'all. This is awesome. I'm resonating with everything you're saying. Oh, yay. I'm glad. I'm glad. Listen, I be wrong sometimes. I do. Part 1 on being self-value in quotes, language possibilities for, and I've been holding the lines. Okay. You're a flower in the garden of humanity. I love that. And you are something the whole universe is doing in the same way that a wave is something that the whole ocean is doing. I love that. Oh my gosh. That's beautiful. I love that. I love that. It is a moneymaker. Yes. Welcome. Welcome. I'm happy you're here. Yay. I'm glad that you're here. Oh, thanks. Oh, thanks, Danny. I appreciate you. What do you all believe in y'all's great? What do you all believe is y'all's greatest gift? I'm going to think about that. I would love to hear. Cain and Abel. Yeah. Comparison. That's what it is. Capitalism thrives on competition. I'm glad to cut off friends who are being jealous and competitive. Yeah, like, why are you competing with your friends? Y'all not friends. That's not friendship. That's weird. That's weird. Like, you should be front row cheering for them and they should be front row cheering for you. And also, a win is like a collective win. So competition is very weird to me. I went back to school as an adult so I could make more money. I love learning, but I do not like school. Same. You're being delivered. Oh. Oh, thank you. It's not until the end of the month, but this is my Happy New Year hat. I know, it's a thing. But Target didn't have no Happy New Year hat, so I got Happy Birthday. And I figured if people glance at it, then they won't know. They'll never. Why? They're not gonna know. They're not gonna know. Oh, you're welcome. Happy New Year. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay. Depression is really real. Depression is real. Okay. Like, you can, like, depression, you can feel depression. It's very real. I want to recommend Alicia's, oh, thank you. Alicia's book, Black Girl Creative. It's so uplifting and affirming. I paid for this endorsement. I was paid for this endorsement. That's funny. No, thank you so much. I appreciate that. So yes, I did re-release a book. I released a book last year, but it had typos and errors and it was a mess. This one still probably does have typos too. I'm sorry. I'm human with no publisher. But I re-put it out there and it has extra chapters and stuff in it. Actually, let me get the link. Let me actually be a writer. Let's see. But yes, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. A good quote I saw on Twitter. I no longer want to be a strong, independent woman. I want to be a damsel in distress. That's funny, but I get it. That's funny. Because who comes to save the strong woman? They just assume she got it. She's fine, right? It's like, no, girl. I need help. I need help. I think yes. 2020. What's today? Today's 2023. Oh, my goodness. All right. So if you all are interested in supporting, no pressure. But here is the link to my book, Black Girl Creative. Paste. Yay. Aw, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's the birthday month. Woo woo. Hey, beautiful people. Oh, yes. Please like if you like it. I appreciate that if you do. I regret going to college. It was freaking expensive. Hello. And it's not serving me any. I sign sometimes. I'm glad that I know the cultural things I need to know. I think it also made me more understanding of people in certain communities. But I am not using that degree right now. I don't know if I will. I don't know. You know, life is long. Maybe one day I will. But right now, I'm okay with just being a singer. I'm okay with just being an artist. Academia is a magnet for intellectual narcissists. Can we talk about it? There are some, listen, I'm not interested in playing that game of like, I know more than you know. I know bigger words than you. It's like, girl, I know what you could just talk to me like a normal person. But yes, it's not everybody, obviously, but a lot of people do. They get off on feeling smarter and superior than other people. And if they have to do it in an academic sense, they will. But I'm not, that's not going to work on me because I don't care. It's like, if we're talking and that's how you normally talk, I don't have no problem. But if I know that you're putting on, you don't have to put on for little old me. It's just me. Let's just talk like normal people. How do you get over that experience? I'm having a hard time. Something similar happened to me. Oh, can you tell me more what you mean, Anne-Marie, please? I'm sorry. I missed that. I'm just seeing this. What was I talking about? College? Are you talking about my teacher? I'll wait till you respond. Hi. No, it's not my birthday. So 1/26 is my birthday. But this, again, long story short, Happy New Year. But since it's my birthday month, I figure I'm just going to wear it all month. Yes. Too bad that PhD ain't going to stop me from slashing their tires. Oh my God. Not the weight. Just kidding. Self-talk is so important. I had some healthy self-talk and prayer. Yeah. I have to do it every morning. I have to. What advice do you have for people who struggle with motivation to get something done? I would say number one, figure out your why. I know that's cheesy, but it's true. Like, why are you doing this? Because sometimes if it has to get done, that's something different. But sometimes the why is really a doorway to see like, oh, actually, I don't want this thing. So like, for example, this is just an aside. I used to want to be famous. I used to want to be a famous singer. But really what I wanted was to be affirmed as an artist, and I don't need to be famous to do that, right? So I think that sometimes asking, why do I want this? It really shows us what we really desire. Like, do you really want $1 million or do you want financial security? Do you want whatever, blah, blah, blah. And is there another way to get that? That's the first thing. Second thing I would say is work with yourself, be your friend, right? So for example, when I exercise, I don't like the gym. I hate the gym. I haven't found my thing. I don't know what I'm doing. It's awkward. I feel like people are watching me. I don't like the gym, right? But if I want to move my body because I want to love it and I feel like I want to move my body, I'll just go for a walk. That's fun to me, right? Finding something fun to get the thing done. Or if I'm cleaning the bathroom and I don't want to clean the bathroom today, but it has to get done because bathrooms have to be clean, I'll play music or I'll listen to a podcast. I'll pair it with something that I find fun so that it's easier to get it done, if that makes sense. Also, break it down into smaller pieces. Everything don't have to get done today. Is it urgent? Half the stuff we think is urgent is not. It's not. We just want to get done on a timeline that we think is right. So yeah, does it have to get done at all? Does it have to get done today? And why do you want to do it? I would say ask those questions. And motivation is great, right? And sometimes I know we hate it, but sometimes it is discipline. I know. I don't like discipline either. I don't like regimens. I don't like none of that. I like getting up and be like, what do I want to do today? But some stuff does have to get written down in a calendar. Make it a non-negotiable. Today we are walking from 8 to 9. Non-negotiable. Not available. Got to do it, right? Like, so just making it easy for yourself. For me, if I find enough excuses to not do something, I won't do it. You know what? It's rainy today. I guess I won't, take a walk, which I mean is fair, right? But like, it's like, okay, yeah, you don't have to walk today, but maybe can you stretch? Can you do something else? You know what I mean? I hope this is answering your question. I don't even know if I'm on topic, but I hope so. Do you have any videos on your channel about recovering from people pleasing in your journey? Not specifically people pleasing. I should. Thank you for that tip. For that question, because I need to make a video about people pleasing. But I reference it a lot because that impacted a lot of what I went through and a lot of what I created, people pleasing, including my friendship breakups and all that other stuff. So yeah, but I thank you for that. I'm going to share more. I appreciate that. Okay. Most people don't even approve of themselves, so they can't approve of you because they're on blinders. Hope, speak truth. A lot of people who don't like you don't even like themselves. And we're qualifying our worth and our value through people who don't even like themselves. And it's not even that you have to be like, you don't even like yourself in a mean way, but it's like, I pity them. I pity you. Like, and not in a way that's like condescending. I pity you. Like, that's a sign of like looking down on somebody. But like, no, I feel bad for you because you don't like yourself. The people, even in the comments on YouTube or whatever, right? If I'm watching something I don't like, I change the channel. I go to another video. There are people who will leave long comments. Like there was a video about like how I gave up Black excellence, how I don't believe in Black excellence and I don't think it should be a thing. It's a whole thing. It's an idea. And I'm working through it in real time in the video. And somebody commented and said, nobody, because something I said in the video was that we all are inherently worthy. We all have inherent value. And somebody commented and said, and was arguing with me, going back and forth. And then this person finally says, no one has value just for existing. Everybody has to do something to earn their value. And what that showed me in that moment was that they were projecting onto me what they think about themselves. That person literally did not think they had worth unless they earn it. So of course, how dare I, Black woman who is not using that as a measuring stick, think that I'm worthy? Because they tried so hard and for so long to be seen as worthy, right? I don't just get to skip the line and be worthy. No, I have to work and I have to toil and I have to give everything. I have to give up my hopes and my dreams, and I gotta, throw my person under the bus. I gotta compete with other people. All these things I'm opting out of, right? That for them, that's the formula. But for me, I'm like, no, I'm just gonna accept my worth. I'm good. I'm a whole, I'm a whole person. I'm a sacred being. I was born worthy. These things in this world does not take away from my worth, whether I achieve them or not. That's not what my worth or my value is based in. But for him, for this person, he's like, no, like, you don't get to just be worthy. So for me, it helped me to open my eyes and see that a lot of what other people say about me, and not for stuff that I've done wrong, right? Because that's something different. Don't gaslight people. But like, no, a lot of judgment that people have about me has everything to do with me and them and nothing to do with me. Nothing to do with me. They don't even know me, right? But they assume so much based on what I say because of what they think of themselves. I ain't got nothing to do with that. A lot of us are just mirrors for people. There are some instances where I'm just like, no, you're wrong. You hurt me, blah, blah, blah. But there are some instances where I'm just like, I talk about this in that video about how jealousy between women, how even for myself, I wasn't necessarily like, oh, I'm jealous. Like, oh, I hate her, I'm going to ruin her life. But I would see other women who were taking up space and being, being beautiful and vibrant in themselves. And I would see that and be as like, oh, there's less room for me to shine, right? Like, oh, I'm not good enough. I'm not as good as she is, and da-da-da. Like, I would judge myself based on that. And so my projection had everything to do with me and not her. She just being herself, right? Like, a lot of the judgments and competitions we have with other people have everything to do with ourselves. Because if we were secure with who we are, if we were secure with who we are, we would not feel the need to compete with anybody. Why would we compete? If we knew that we were worthy and enough and loved and valuable and all these wonderful things, beautiful, sexy, confident. If we knew that, right, we would be jealous of nobody because who we are is everything, right? Like, I don't know. So yes, I agree with you. All that to say, Hope, I agree with you. Yes. Can you talk about those past bad relationships, on how you dealt and overcome that? That might have to be a whole other video because my relationship history has been garbage, basura. It has been so bad. So yeah, that'll probably have to be a different video. But the way that I dealt with it and the way that I overcame that, it took years. Honestly, it took after, like, I was still dealing with the trauma into my marriage. Like, literally, like, it's funny now. It wasn't funny then, obviously. But like, I was dealing with the trauma of my past relationships into my marriage. Like, this idea that somehow, like, oh yeah, you break up and you get married and everything's fine and nothing matters. That was not my story at all. Like, I was still mourning the people who broke my heart as a married woman. So that's a whole other, we got to talk about that. We do. So I'll talk about that in a different video. But yes, it took a long time. Therapy, time, but not just time, right? Not just me sitting in that sorrow, but like working through it, coming to the realization of things, being honest about stuff. Being like, no, that person was trash. And and that wasn't okay. You know what I mean? So that in itself is motivation to do the opposite and do some self-love instead. I'm all for the self-love. I have no idea. I forgot what I said, but yes. Right. And then we have abandonment issues, but it's us abandoning ourselves. We abandon ourselves all the time. We forsake ourselves all the time. We are not our own friend. Well, that's what school does to us, makes us chase achievements. Absolutely. Okay. Thank you. Yes. You're literally groomed to chase achievements, attendance awards, principal's honor roll, being like having the kid with the picture in front of the class. Like, we're taught from 5 that we have to compete with other people, that we have to be the best. You know what I mean? That who we are is our achievements, is our little pin and awards. And we have the science fair projects. The first science fair project I ever did, I was in elementary school and I cried because I thought I did something wrong. Like, I was like, why didn't I get a pin? And my mom's like, it's okay. Like, I was crying. I was like, why wasn't I good enough? I was like 6. And my hope was just like dashed. I'm just like, am I stupid? You know, like you work so hard, you stay up all night, you're doing the thing. Shout out to my mom. But yeah, that was like the first, I remember that so vividly. That was the first moment I felt like, oh, I'm not enough. I'm not good enough. You know what I mean? So, I mean, every kid is different, obviously, but that's how it was for me. Okay. Hi, welcome. Oh, conversation. Sorry, my bad. I didn't go to my graduation for my bachelor's. I was just glad it was over. I feel you. I feel you. Those professors get such a high, so excuse me. Those professors get on such a high horse, the right one gonna snatch them right off. Hello? Sorry, there was a car outside the window. It was creeping a little bit. But yeah, absolutely. The meritocracy and bootstrap myths have caused so much damage, mental, emotional, and otherwise. I agree. Also, pulling yourself by your own bootstraps is not true. It's not a thing. It doesn't exist. Because the same people saying pull yourself up by your own bootstraps are the people who enslaved other people for their benefit. Where were their boots? The only way that you can elevate is by putting your boots on somebody else. That's literally the only way that it works. And so that's why you need a bottom. You need a bottom. You need somebody like to lose. Oh, yay. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. What years did your mom go to Lincoln University? I know someone that went, he's about 61. Oh, well, she went in 76, 78, I think. So yeah. But isn't healthy competition good? Like, for example, the camera you have may be better than others, and because it is, others consumers will buy it. That's fine. Like things, I don't have no problem with things being better or the better option, right? Or the best option for different people. But even that is different, right? Because, so I have a lens that I really love, right? But like, if it don't work for nobody else, it doesn't matter. It just works for me. You know what I'm saying? Like there's not really competition. It's more like preference. Like I prefer to use this lens. But I think when we're talking about people, right? People are not objects. People are not things. People are sacred souls, right? And so it's like, we are manufactured, and this is just my belief, we're manufactured by the creator of the universe, and every one of us are so unique that it's almost like slapping the creator in the face or slapping your own self in the face by comparing yourself to other people. I don't think that competition is necessary for the greater good. I don't. I just think it's something that humans make up to define worth and value because they don't find the worth and value inherently in them. Like in my mind, and again, this is just me talking out, in this moment. I don't think that self-worth comes from devaluing or lowering the value of someone else. If that's the case, then you have no self-worth in the first place. If your value and self-worth is dependent upon other people's achievements or lack thereof of achievements, using air quotes, then you have no worth or value inherently that you feel in yourself. You're always going to have to use other people. There's always going to have to be people under you, right? And for me, in my opinion, that's not healthy. Like that's not normal. And we as humans don't want to be consumed. We want to be appreciated and loved. And the problem is that we live in a society that consumes people, consumes their work, consumes their time, consumes their products, what they create, right? Like productivity is a product. You know what I mean? Like being at your job and being the highly awarded or whatever. It's a product. And so like people are not products to me. People are inherently valuable, excuse me. So that's the only difference, I think. And again, sports and stuff like that, I mean, have at it, right? Like it's for fun, unless it gets really, really serious. Like everything don't have to be that serious. But also for people in general, I don't think competition is healthy for anybody. Because again, nothing in nature that is same species competes with itself. That doesn't make any sense. If we are all humans, why are we competing with each other? The trees don't compete with each other outside. They share. You know what I'm saying? If a tree, like literally, again, we had a whole stream about trees, right? But it's fascinating. Trees that are same species hold each other up. Like if one tree is wilted or like bent, other trees will send it nutrients. Some stumps are still alive because the trees next to it are helping feed them. Every other thing in nature knows this, that we are each other's. We are each other's. But humans are the only things that are like, no, there can only be one. You got to compete with me. You have to be like, we're shooting ourselves in our own feet. Everything else in nature does not compete. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know. That's just, yeah. Nothing wrong with celebrating the whole month. Okay, when we celebrating the whole month. Yes, it's the Earth's birthday. Yes, yes. Um, oh, sorry. Thank you for clearing that up. Miss Maureen, 1975. I appreciate that. No, no paid endorsements. But yes, I appreciate you asking about it. I do. I'm strong woman gonna need a PT, hello, chiropractor and mental health. That part. Absolutely. Absolutely. I told you I was working at this job and it was stressing me out so bad that I had to go to chiropractor, and she went and she saw my spine and she said my spine was out of alignment, like I had been in an accident or something. And I was like, girl, I'm just sitting at a desk. I'm not doing anything crazy. But that job was stressing my body out. So yes, listen, academia is meant to refine niche fields. It's why we have a lot of the tech science we have now. Yeah, I don't have any problem with learning. Learning is not the issue for me. It's the system. It's the system of school. I love learning. I read books all the time. I'm Googling something all the time, right? There's nothing wrong with like learning, but I think that the way that they created the system is not conducive for people to really learn. Not a lot of people. You feel me? Like, and the beautiful thing the beautiful thing I love about science though is that you have permission to fail, right? Like science fields, you're allowed to fail. You're allowed to make mistakes. You're allowed to make hypotheses that aren't true, right? Like you're allowed to, based on your own conclusion, make, judgments and then see what happens. You experiment. That's what I love about the science fields. But a lot of other fields are not like that. You know what I mean? Like, it's like there has to be a right and a wrong. And like a lot of fields are not like that. You know what I mean? So I hope that makes sense. I'm not anti-learning. I'm just like I've heard too many stories, especially from Black women in academic spaces, like in academia, like of them being stressed out, underpaid, overworked, overlooked, right? Like their work not being seen as valuable or enough, right? I've heard it firsthand from people in these spaces, and it's not healthy. It's not healthy. It's a lot of red tape. It's a lot of politics. It's a lot of things that don't matter. It's a lot of like pride and ego that get in the way, So yeah, Tab voice, but this is retroactively relevant to the predicament of the, I can't. Sometimes when I hear it, I know, I just can't. Just so y'all know, I have no idea what I just said. That's all right. It's our birthday month, girl. Yes. Oh, yay. Shout out to you. Happy early birthday. Hi, Albert. Hi. Oh, shout out to you. Woo, woo. Aquarius. Yes. And again, I have no idea what that means, but Aquarius. Let's see. Happy birthday to all the fellow January babies. Happy birthday to you. Can we talk about the having a birthday in the first month is a double dose of new year, age, new you? Listen, remove the pressure. For me, New Year starts in spring. It starts in spring. The winter, it's cold. I'm tired. I'm going to gain weight. It's inevitable. Like, I'm not motivated. When springtime hits though, oh, I'm ready to change the world. You know what I mean? So during the wintertime, I'm just like, listen, I'm chilling. And nobody wants to come out anyway because it's cold. so yeah, no, it is a lot of pressure. And then also it's like you just got off. A lot of people think January is depressing because it's after the holiday hangover. There's nothing going on. And then we got the nerve to be happy, like, it's my birthday. It's like, girl, we're tired. So yeah. Alicia blocked them. Nobody can drain your energy because you are a child. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yes, warm hugs. Yes. I love Aquarians. Much love to you. Thank you. You all are intellectual, humanitarian, and eccentric. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thanks for thinking I'm intellectual. That means a lot to me. Most people are just living through life scared and unaware. Yeah, a lot of people are just trying to survive, and I get it. And a survival tactic is putting down other people so that you feel better about yourself. It's true. I'm so late. You're right on time. Same as your old professor. Yeah, absolutely. That's why, again, at this point, like, I have grace for her. Like, yes, I'm still upset about that. Like, I'm not actively upset, but looking back and I'm like, that was trash. But if anything, people that I've encountered in my life who are mean and like go out their way to be mean like that, I'm like, you need this. You need me to feel this big so that you feel big, which means that you don't feel big, right? So like, I feel sorry for you. You know what I mean? Like, I don't hate her. Whatever. I feel bad for her. I feel sorry for her, We love you, Alicia. You're beautiful. Oh, thank you. And that is why we want to compete with you. No. I don't want anyone to compete with me. I want people to see themselves as enough, as lovely. Listen, I was going to say I'm nobody, but that's not true. I am somebody, but I'm just Alicia. I'm just me. Like, we don't have to compete. We can be friends, Insecurity is bred in grade school in modern religion. Oh, I agree. I agree. That's a whole other video, okay? The baton has been passed to you. Maybe your grandmother knew you were ready. Ooh, that's heavy. And could trust you to move things forward. You're gonna make me cry again. For yourself. You're now going into that sacred position as a matriarch. Whoa. I appreciate that. That's heavy. That's heavy, but I love that. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you, Purple Pink. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I want to listen to that testimony. Oh, that'll be a separate video because that was a lot. Hi, Jay. Hi, Jay Speaks Live. Hi, Shayla. Self-love is key. You have to be your own best friend. I agree. I like myself. I think I'm funny. We have a great time. I think I'm funny. And this mentality is present in the workplace. I agree. Appreciation versus consumption. Yeah. Like we literally live in a culture. We live in a country specifically, or a culture, where consumption of bodies, consumption of people, of work was literally the foundation of this country. So to think that we're not inherently like taught, or to think that we're not taught to act the same way, to consume people, to consume what they do, consume their energy, all this, we think that way until we learn differently. You know what I mean? So we don't appreciate, like, nothing is sacred in America. Everything's for sale. Nothing is sacred. Nothing is sacred. Your time is for sale, your energy, your vitality, your age, all these things. Like, even like, again, the manosphere stuff, like, oh, your age, your value goes down if you age. It's all about consumption. It's all about seeing people as a product and not as people. You know what I mean? Nothing is appreciated in America. Nothing. Let's get over here. I told myself that I would stop comparing or competing with others. If I shine, it's not trying to compete. Exactly. No, absolutely. Nor the sun or the moon. Capitalism, it has us selling ourselves for $20 an hour and diminishing our mental and physical health. Speak truth in Watson. Exactly. Knowing your time is like sacred. It's like the one resource you can't get back. And they're telling you, oh, for an hour of your life that you'll never get back, here's $20. No. Yes, we are each other's. All have a place and purpose. Absolutely. Oh, thank you, Tel. Well, it's my birthday month, but I appreciate that. Thank you. I'll be taking happy birthdays all month. Thank you so much. Alicia, there are some internet monsters hiding who always comment. Absolutely. And they get blocked, or they get put on don't view or something, where they'll comment, but nobody will see their comments because I don't have time. They do be. This reminds me of how when the pandemic first started and we all had to stop working and running around, they found Earth literally started healing itself. Exactly. Because we're horrible. We're greedy and everything is for profit. Nothing is for itself. But yeah, I low key, not minus the pandemic, I low key wish we can go back to that place where everybody was like, oh, let's not do anything. Let's actually spend time with the people we love. Let's actually rethink. Do I want to do this? Who am I? Let's make bread. Let's have fun, right? Like, I miss that. If humans would learn from trees and the way trees support one another, we would undergo a positive transformation that would ripple across generations. I completely agree. Again, I'm still reading. I told y'all, I'm taking my time. I'm reading this book called The Hidden Life of Trees. Pretty sure that's not the title. The Secret Life of Trees. No, The Hidden Life. Yes, The Hidden Life of Trees. What they feel, how they communicate, discoveries from ... But either way, it's a beautiful book. It's a great book. And it's just teaching us all these things. We think, I was watching Elf. Jamal, you know the title of the movie, but it's with Vince Vaughn and either way, it was about a Santa Claus whose brother is like Nick. Is it Nick? Anyway, so one of the person said to him, a tree is in a tree's shadow. It can't shine until the older tree dies. But in reality, young trees are protected by the older trees. The young trees are stunted in their growth, and as humans, we see that as, oh, they're trying to keep them down or whatever. But no, the young trees are being protected because their bark is not thick enough, right? So if they were to get all this sunlight and exposure, it would kill the leaves. The tree would die, right? So the older trees know what they're doing. They're giving that young tree just enough light so that it doesn't overdo itself. If we can think, like, we can learn so much from nature. If we just sit in nature and just shut up and listen and watch and learn, there's so much we can take away from it, Anyway, yes. Unprofessional supervisors, racism, sexism. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Oh, thank Thank you. Thank you. Well, it's at the end of the month. But thank you so much. Thank you. That is one thing I don't like about how we are not allowed to be seasonal when I think we naturally have seasonal in our productivity. I completely agree. We're not, when we're thinking about trees, I know we're talking about trees. No human is evergreen. Like, we do all things in seasons. Everything we do is in a season. And I think that because we live in a, society now where we have lights and all these different, wonderful advancements, it also makes us work all the time. All the time. Like, there's no break. I feel like in the wintertime, people need a break. It's tired. It's slow. Nobody wants to go outside. It's too much, But yeah, it's not natural. It's not natural. Oh, no. Oh, okay. I don't even know what I said, but I'm glad. I'm glad. I hear that about us all the time. Yeah. I like myself. I'm worth a lot. I like myself. I'm worth a lot. Don't say I'm not, because you can't see what's inside of me or something. We had these people who came to our elementary schools and sang songs. If I can, I want to be a leader, helping others. Anyway, there's like this troupe that came around and sang songs to us as elementary school children to like give us like self-love and stuff. It was great. But I love January myself. It gives me a sense of fresh start. I love that. That's awesome. That's awesome. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. I'm just saying, if you don't have it, you don't have to have it. It's okay. I know it's not a popular thing to say, but capitalism is at the root of most of the madness we're dealing with in this country. Miss Maureen, you're in good company here because I believe the same thing. I believe the same thing. Thank you, Kim. Welcome. Hi, Kim. Thank you so much. Yes, that. And they go hand in hand, right? Like, capitalism is literally built by slavery. It's the same thing. Like, it's literally slavery built capitalism in this country, so it makes sense. Well, I heard a noise. That scared me. So capitalism thrives on competition today. However, when it was forming, this was not what it looked like. And that's the saddest thing ever. Okay. I hear that. I'll think about that. Fred Claus. Thank you. Fred Claus. That's what it's called. Yes. Fred Claus was like the brother of Santa Claus, and they were at odds, and, Vince Vaughn is Vince Vaughn. So he was like the darker character, and he was making all the mistakes and all the silly things, but he was jealous of his brother, Santa Claus. That sounds so crazy, but he was jealous of his brother, Santa Claus, and somebody who was trying to shut Santa Claus down because he got a bad toy or something some year, or didn't get a toy. What's his name? Anyway, but he said to him, aren't you afraid of living in your brother's shadow? There's a reason why young trees don't get a chance to shine, because older trees are taking up the sunlight. That's not how this works. They're not in competition. They take care of each other. It's our own understanding of people that we're projecting on plants and nature, because nature does not do that. Nature shares. Nature knows that it's better together. Nature knows that they thrive when everyone's healthy. They know that they're only as good as their weakest link. That's what nature knows. But we as humans want to feel like we're God. We want to feel like we're everything. We want to feel like we're better than everybody. So we have to find a flaw in somebody else for us to feel good. When really that's a sign that, there's something in me that's lacking. Why do every time I feel those feelings, I'm like, what is it? What's going on, Alicia? Why do you feel like this person can't shine and you shine at the same time? What's happening? So, but yeah, thank you. So we are not allowed to be organic or natural. Oh, you're talking about like plants and stuff? It's trash. I know I can be who I want to be. If I work hard at it, I'll be where I want to be. Yay. Me too. I'm with you. We are literally scouting different places to move for a long time or for a short time, but it's just so much here in America that's just like, it's just not I don't like the culture. It doesn't resonate with me. It just don't mesh. You know what I mean? So I'm just trying to figure out something else, or just figuring out a way to live, even if we do live here, a way that we can live our own dreams. And that's one reason why I love living in the RV and, just unconventional ways. But yes. All right. Capitalism started out, what is the cheapest way to make the most? Yeah. Then the horrors of those who took advantage of it came into play. Okay. I hear you. Okay. I hear you. I just think that foundationally, capitalism in America was evil always. That's just my own personal opinion. Evil always. That they even said, I agree with you. Capitalism started out, what is the cheapest way to make the most, which is why they took bodies and made them work for free. And so in America, that is the foundation of capitalism here. Obviously, capitalism has its own definition, but in America, it's inherently evil in my opinion. And so yeah, that's just my personal belief. I don't think that it was ever good. I don't. Not here. Not in this America. I don't think it was ever good, you know. But yeah. I love how these lives literally just turn into vibe sessions. Me too. I love that. I love that. I do recommend Simon Sinek's book, Find Your Why, because he has thank you for sharing that. Because he has a guide for helping you to really understand why you want to do any. Oh, I love that. Thank you. I'll definitely write that down. Find your why. And you said Simon. Oh, my pen. Okay. Nature doesn't always share. Nature, whether it be plants or animals, compete. Okay. I hear you. You might be right, but from what I've seen, nature does not compete with itself. Same species don't compete with themselves because they're together. They're like the tree, the root system, they're like low key, it's like together. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Do different species compete? Yes. But do same species compete? Not really. Not really. Plants? But yeah, again, I could be very wrong. So there's that. My soul needs peace and it's not here. Yeah, I feel you. Oh, speaking of moving, how's the situation with the RV? Okay, so big things coming. So we are actually going to sell the RV and buy a camper van. And so I'm going to be traveling. Hopefully, like, this is the dream, right? So whatever happens, happens. But the idea is to buy a camper van so I can travel the country because I want to be in nature. I want to be in the woods. I want to be at the beach. I want to be, just seeing the wonders. I want to be in the mountains, all these different things while my husband works. And then we'll reconvene and start traveling together. And we're thinking about moving out of the country in the fall. But that's just right now. Everything's kind of up in the air. We'll see where it takes us. I've learned to make plans and then not like, this is my intention, but if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. I'm not tripping either way. But that's the goal. That's the goal now. So yeah, nature takes what it needs for survival, but human takes for greed. And that's my point. Like, nature knows when it's enough. It's like, okay, we're good for now. But it's humans that don't have a sense of enoughness or a sense of community or sharing, or, you know what I mean? And just think about like things in nature working together, even the things that we find that are pests. I found out recently that flies are pollinators. I had no idea. Flies pollinate, flowers, right? So for us, they're a pest. They're competing with us for our food or whatever it is, right? But like, no, actually, their job is to pollinate flowers, and they are scavengers, and they clean up. You feel me? Like, their job is to clean up. So like, even these things that we think are working, that are competing with each other, they're really just working together. Like the pieces, they need each other. They need the pieces. Spiders, right? I don't like spiders, but they do their job. They kill the pests. Like, everything has its place, but it's America. It's people, America. It's people that are greedy. We don't know limitations. We don't know boundaries. We don't know doing things for the greater good of people. You feel me? Like, it's all about me. It's all about what I want, or my people, or my group. You feel me? Like, my best interests, not the interests of the greater good. Yeah. Girl, I wanted to leave the U.S. since I was 12. Take me with you. Come on down. We'll see. We'll see how it unfolds. We'll see. The U.S. will wear you out mentally and physically. I agree. Well, yeah. I figured, yeah. Capitalism is based in the exploitation of poor people's labor. Thank you. Plain and simple. Any billionaire or millionaire knows this. And that's my belief. Like, that's why people, I get it. Like, I get it. I get that what we're taught on paper is sometimes like the cushier version of what it really is. And I think that we sometimes underestimate how evil people can be, and how evil this country specifically can be, just because this is where I live. Not because any other country is not evil, but because this is the only perspective I have. The country is evil. The foundation is evil. The systems are evil, right? They exploit. Everything's about exploitation. Everything is for sale. Everything's for sale. So yeah. And in my mind, even the idea of getting the cheapest labor, getting the most work for the cheapest payment is inherently evil in my mind. I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like something does not sit well with me that we're so willing to just admit that flat out. Like we're admitting that we don't care about people's livelihoods, their health. We don't care about their families. We don't care about their pensions. We don't care about, I mean, what is a pension anymore? We don't care about any of this stuff, right? But we care about our needs getting met for the cheapest possible price, no matter what that costs. Like we're thinking about the money, but we're not thinking about the cost of paying people the lowest amount possible. Like to me, that's just evil. I don't like that. I'm sorry. Hey DJ, thank you so much. And it's the birthday month. But yes, thank you. Will your husband travel with you? Sometimes yes, but sometimes no. So yeah. Aquarians are inventors and usually need independence and value loyalty and friendships. Oh, good. Well, I guess I'm an Aquarius. That's why we have herds, schools, flocks of animals. Exactly. What kind of RV are you selling? It is a 2013 Thor Majestic. So it's like a Class C RV with like the little overhead thingy, little boop, where you can sleep up top. It's a 28-foot RV. Yeah. So yeah. Expat life is a dream of mine. I have 2 citizenships, trying to get a third. Oh, excuse us. You got 2 already. No, that's awesome. That's exciting. Hey, beautiful people, please show your support. Yes, please like if you like. We're about to wrap up in a little bit, but no worries. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. That's very sweet. Ghana is giving citizenship to African Americans and Jamaicans. Saw it 3 days ago. Oh, that's awesome. That's cool. That's dope. I do want to get to the continent of Africa and work my way over. It's huge, right? It's huge. So I want to start in the West and work my way over. But yeah, that'd be dope. Even if different species in nature do compete, those species end up with unhealthy lives as a result. The point of what Alicia is saying is nature's highest, healthiest expression is cooperation. Thank you. That's exactly what I'm saying. Nature cooperates with itself, right? And when it doesn't, things are overrun, right? Like there's balance in everything. But humans are the only ones that don't have balance. We're greedy. We're insatiable. we're greedy little children, who are tyrants and have to feel better than everybody else. It's so sad. But when things step outside of their primordial harmony, I'm sure I said that wrong, they experience disease and disharmony, which is what humans are doing. Exactly. And the earth is literally diseased. Like the earth, the soil here, because of capitalism, has no nutrients. You know what I'm saying? Like has no nutrients. Like because that's not how crops are supposed to be grown. Even crops have a season where they don't grow anything. They burn the soil. They do other things to re-enrich the soil with nutrients. But because we're so used to mining the soil all the time, every year there has to be some sort of, crop sold because money is everything, right? Then the soil has no nutrients. The food we're eating has no nutrients. Like we're wondering why, why is this not the same? Because, corners get cut. The chickens are pumped with, what do you call them? Steroids and antibiotics. Thank you. The chickens are pumped with steroids and antibiotics and all these different things that are harmful to the body simply because money is held more important than people. That's capitalism. That's what you get with capitalism. How can I get the biggest product the cheapest way? Oh, I know. Use all these things that are unhealthy for the body and then sell it to people or get them addicted to it, right? Or make them sick so that they have to keep coming back. Like I think we really underestimate how evil people can be, which is really sad because we don't think that way, right? We don't live that way. We have the best intentions, but like people with a lot of access and resource and they, that's just how I feel. Ghana is going through an economic crisis. Oh, I'm sorry. Look at Lion King. Exactly. When Scar took over and they were eating everything and there was no balance and they just kept consuming, what happened? They all starved. Marcus, first of all, I love the fact that you use this cartoon as a reference, but it's true. It's us. It's a mirror. Like we know no boundaries or limitations. Like the idea that, again, even this idea of like people starving or there's not enough food for everybody, it's not true. People are just hoarding the food. Like I worked at McDonald's. I saw them throw food away, buckets of food away, and people are starving because we prioritize money over people. It's really sad. Not that McDonald's is healthy in any way, but like it's food. You feel me? And they would not give free. Like sometimes there were people who came in and we just gave them food because we had it. But there are some places and restaurants where they're not giving people food. I worked at Lucky Strike. I told you already. And we would do these parties, and they would have like, these like platters with like sandwiches and just very fancy things. And so I would take some for the ride home. And every day outside, this was in Gallery Place, Chinatown, so like DC. So going to the metro, I would pass people who were hungry all the time. And I figured, oh, okay, shoot. I work at Lucky Strike. They throw food away all the time. I'll just put some food in a container and give it to them. And so they told me I couldn't do that. It was against the law, right? It was against the rules. And I didn't understand why. I was like, why? Like, y'all are throwing this food away anyway. If it's good enough to feed to these people at this party, it's good enough to feed these people who are hungry, right? And they were telling me that the reason why they don't do it is because they don't want any lawsuits or anything like that. Like, they don't want anybody to get sick. And so I kind of understand that. But in my mind, I'm just like, wow, that's an example of prioritizing money over people. Like, we're talking about suing. We're talking about people who don't have food in their belly. Like, I don't like, because the thing is, you can still be sued by the people at the party. Anyway. Okay. It's called a cancer when the system competed with the cell. Exactly. That's literally what cancer is, right? Like, your cells won't stop growing. It won't stop growing. That's what cancer is. I feel like humans aren't fundamentally greedy, but the system we live in brings out the worst in us. Okay. I could see that, but I don't know. I think people are okay. I think until we learn to not be greedy, we're greedy. Because I think about like children. Children don't know no. They don't know enough. They just keep eating until they throw up, right? Like, we have to teach them that's enough. Or, this is what full feels like, right? And I feel like the same thing with humans. I think that we have to learn what enough is. Even for myself, I'm still learning what enough is. With food, with, things, what is enough? Like, we really have to define what enough is. And I feel like in this culture, especially specifically, so yeah, like in the system, like, we don't know, we weren't really given the tools to figure out what enough is. It's always about more, So yeah, I agree with you. What would you say is a solution to capitalism? How would you fix it if you had the chance while still maintaining a lot of what people want out of capitalism that people need? I don't think you fix capitalism. I think you gut it out. You start over. I don't think there's any way to remedy this. If you really want me to answer this question, it's going to sound silly because of the world we live in. But number one, like, not give corporations so much power. Let's start there, right? Like, not, again, prioritizing money over people. Because the truth is, even if you wanted a good economic, a country with a good economic system, wouldn't it be the best interest to take care of your citizens so that they do keep producing for you? Even if you wanted to manipulate the situation, wouldn't it be best? People thrive better when they have what they need. It's just a fact. And so if I want a nation of people who live long, right, who give because they have enough, I need to do the work to make sure they have enough. Like, lack is not the way. Like, it's enough. Like, it's support. Like, there's just this idea, like when people say, we said this before, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. That's not true. What makes you stronger is support, is love, is encouragement, is financial help, is community. Like, this is what makes you stronger, right? And I think we've been kind of brainwashed in a way to believe that struggle is the way, that this is the only way we can do it. All we can do is compete, when really we can put our heads together and come up with a better system. But we won't do that work, right? Or the people who want to do that work don't have the power or the access or the resources, because the people up top with the resources and the power are benefiting too much. Why would I change my system? I'm winning, right? Like, so I think that we have the power. Do I have all the answers? Absolutely not. But I think I have some ideas, and I feel like somebody else has some other ideas, and we can come together and put together. I don't think that, just my personal thing, I don't value money over people. So I'm already not in alignment with this country. This country succeeds now because it enslaved people, because it killed people, because it stole from people. Like, it drove out people. It drove people to the middle of the country. Like, that's the reason why this country is successful. And I think that you live by the sword, you die by the sword. So if we were to start a whole other life, you got to gut everything out. You got to cut it out. You got to start over. You have to make reparations. You have to make apologies. You got to make it right. You got to leave. You feel me? So like, it would be radical. The answer to capitalism is radical, but I think it's just generosity. And I think that people are doing it in their own little communities, in their own microcosms, in their own little way that they can. Giving, supporting, right? But on a massive scale, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. There are powers that be that I've never seen that are working this whole thing. I know this sounds very like what's the word? Conspiracy theorist like, but it's true. Like, it's an evil behind this country. You got to gut out the evil to change it, you know? A final word about the wisdom of plants. They learn from their mistakes and thrive. Oh, more often than not, they become endangered mostly due to mistreatment by humans, not due to a fault of their own. I agree. Humans ruin everything. It's us. We ruin everything. We ruin everything. In countries where people have to work a lot and neglect themselves, the suicide rate is high. Yeah. For example, Japan, South Korea, USA, suicide rates are higher than homicide rates in the US. Wow. I didn't know that. But I believe it. I believe it. Judas sold out the free gift for money. It's an evil principle. Judas sold out the free. Ooh, that's a good point. Good point. Pre-colonial indigenous and African societies lived in peace with nature for centuries. Not to say they were perfect. Right. But they didn't have to destroy the planet. Precisely. Like, it's really, I don't even know what the word is. Is it classist? Is that the word? Or like this belief that somehow the way that we're doing it is the best way to do things when people have been living for thousands of years. Like, America's young, like, but people have been living for thousands of years without your help and thriving. But we think that, oh, we're so technologically advanced and we're so smart. And it's like, really? But then why are so many people sick? Why are so many people dying? Why are so many people poor? Like, if we're so great, if we're such a great nation, then like, why are so many people suffering? But anyway, yes, obviously, yes. No, they weren't perfect. Right. But they were thriving before we got here. Because they held things sacred, other people's lives, nature, right? Like, they would see someone, and we've talked about this before, like a lot of cultures. I was reading the book called A People's History of the United States. I don't even think I have that book anymore, but A People's History of the United States. And they were taking accounts of, Christopher Columbus doing his thing, Columbusin, and he was writing down about the people, and he would call them, like, of course, like words like savages, and he would call them stupid or whatever, just because the indigenous folks that were here is in here. The indigenous folks that were here were kind and generous and thoughtful, and they held stuff sacred. They didn't fight and fuss over gold, because to them it's like it's rocks. Like, what exactly? Like, yes, it has its place, but like, what exactly is the big deal, right? So in a lot of ways, it's ironic because you're calling these people savages when really the colonizers were the savages. Y'all don't even wash your hands. Like, it's just crazy. Like. But yeah, this idea that somehow we are so advanced and these people who were here for thousands of years, it's like assuming, it's presumptuous. Is that the word? Like, there's something wrong about that. Like, no, they had it right. It's wrong right now. Agreed. I do not believe that competition is good measuring stick for people. Me neither. The scary part is we are moving towards techno-feudalism. Capitalism is devolving to an even worse form. Oh God. It's a lot. I used to work at McDonald's and I saw the same. People got written up McNuggets from the top of the trash. People got written up McNuggets from the top of the trash. Oh, excuse me. Written up for. See? I'm trying to tell you, the food exists. It's just people hoarding. Marcus said something profound Marcus, you might have to type it again, but it was, there's enough for everybody, but there's not enough for greed. Profound, because nothing is lacking. There is this idea that there's not enough resources for people and we should stop making people because population control and blah, blah, blah. It's like, it's all a lie. There is enough resources out here for everyone to thrive. But because we value money, we want to hoard it and make people pay top dollar for it. You feel me? Like, anyway, being ruled by antisocial psychos is so stupid and wasteful and immoral. Yes. After moving and throwing away things, I realized I do not need many personal belongings. Minimalism. Yeah. Honestly, downsizing and moving into the RV changed my life. Because I'm like, wow, I need way less than I thought I did. And not just way less things, but way less, it helped us live slower. You know what I mean? Like, we were out in nature in the woods in Colorado for like 2 weeks, and it was amazing. We were broke and stranded in Florida in, what is it called? Southwest Florida. Either way, starts with an M maybe. But anyway, we were there and we were stranded. We didn't have no money, but I was at the beach every single day and I was at peace. I had no money in the bank. I didn't know how I was going to make money. Like, this was like right before COVID started. You know what I mean? And I didn't know what I was going to do. But I was at the beach every single day and I was at peace. And I think that sometimes, I don't know, maybe this is just for me. I think that sometimes all this extra stuff brings stress. Like all these extra things that we're maintaining and keeping and buying and upgrading and and trying to strive for. I feel like that's a big reason why we are stressed. You know what I mean? Because we're not content with what we have. I don't know. Not saying that people should have to suffer or be poor or struggle. That's not what I mean. But anyway. Aw, love you guys too. Thank you. We cannot fix capitalism. It's working as it was designed to work. Exactly. Capitalism invented trickle-down economics in the 80s and beyond. We know that money never trickled down. Never. Yeah, radical. Yeah. And I'm okay with that. In socialized democracies, they support socialized healthcare, and those people are healthier and more productive. They also get more vacation time and paid paternal leave. Imagine that. Imagine your people getting what they need and them thriving and surviving and living longer and actually being more productive. That's a no-brainer to me, right? So everything you're saying, it makes sense. And so the only reason why would America fight so hard on that except that you need people to be at a bottom? It doesn't make any sense. Not really, baby. Stop eating once they're full. Okay. We're not generally born fearful of lack. We try to communicate and food shows up. If we are not fed, we internalize if we're not fed, we internalize the lack and become greedy. Okay. I mean, I hear you, but I be seeing a lot of babies throwing up. I be seeing, and no, this is just an aside, but I be seeing a lot of babies throw up. I don't know. But I hear you. I mean, that makes sense though. That makes a lot of sense though. If your needs are not met when you need them, yeah, you're gonna experience lack. Of course. Marcus on the man line. The planet is rebalancing itself. The toxic male dominant systems will eventually fall. It's out of balance with universal principles. Fort Myers, thank you. It's not conspiracy theories. Satan is the god of this world, and the Bible says there are principalities, demons, and agents of darkness that control our government. Is run by people that reject God. Hey. Let's see. That was Satan in the flesh. I missed it. I'm sorry. But yes, I agree. I agree. It's evil. It's a spirit. It's evil. And how do you, again, changing the system, but if the spirit is still wrong, it's still going to be evil. The idea of capitalism makes sense. The idea of capitalism that, if the rich are making the money, it's going to trickle down to the poor people. But because it's evil, it's not going to happen. You know what I mean? Because people are greedy and selfish, it's not going to happen. And again, I think about children. It reminds me of kids. I do think that some kids are very generous, but there's a moment when kids are like, this is my toy, it's mine. Or you can't play with it, only I can play with it. That kind of idea. That's what I think of these older people in these positions. It's like a toddler throwing a tantrum. It's wild. It's wild. But yeah. If they could charge for sunshine, rain, and breathing, they would. And yes, they would. And they do. But also it's in some places in the world, they can't even own their rain. The rain that falls from the sky in their place of living, they can't collect it to drink it. And these are places where people are thirsty, right? They're thirsty and they can't collect rain outside their house because it's owned by a water company. That's crazy. So that sounds crazy, right? That sounds crazy. Charge for sunshine, rain, but they do charge. In some places, they do charge for that. And it sounds crazy, but it's real. And if we're not careful, we're going to end up in some crazy situations. I know this is not what this live is about at all, but it's true. It makes life easier. It does. And it's less stuff to think about, right? It's less to think about maintaining. When people want to buy something, you really got to consider the cost. It's not just the cost of how much money it costs. It's also about what is the maintenance of it, the time to clean it, right? The repairs and, all these different things. Sorry, y'all, I'm thirsty. But yeah. So minimalism definitely has its perks for sure. And it helps you to really refocus on what is important to me? Why do I want this? Is this necessary? I still have an iPhone 8. Hey, if it works, it works. Until it stops working. Apparently, they say older phones, I think even Android does this, but if you have an older phone, they're going to stop giving updates so that it forces you to buy the new phone. Trash. Yep, cruelty and racism is the point. This country literally created inaccessibility to keep us out of certain areas. Yes, yes. Like there was something that I learned that I love that I took this away from deaf studies or learning about sign language and stuff like that, is this idea that like when people say like, oh, this person is like disabled, using air quotes, right? It's like, no, if this person had the resources, if they were able to access what we're experiencing, they wouldn't need you, right? Like the problem is not their disability, it's the inability for them to access certain places. The problem is not this person is in a wheelchair. The problem is that there's no ramps. The problem is not that this person is deaf. The problem is that there's no accessible anything. There's no person signing, that people don't know sign language. There's no, what do you call it? Oh my gosh, on the bottom of the screen when it has the captions, there's no caption, there's no closed captions, right? Like that's the reason. They need people to not be able to access these things. So yeah, I agree. That is usually other reasons human babies are born premature compared to other animals. Oh, our digestive system. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. That does, because babies be struggling. That makes a lot of sense. I think babies stop eating, but it's just too late. Our bodies take a minute. No, they do. It does. That's why we're supposed to eat slower. I'm trying to work on it. Trying. America is a baby that has a full belly, pooping, and still hungry at the same time. Yeah. Also, sometimes people are busy and they put them down after a full meal when they need different positions. Also, if you learn that you are only held for food, Hope, educate us. That makes me so sad. If you learn that you are only held for food and not nurture, you associate food with comfort. That makes a lot of sense. Wow. That's sad. That's so sad. All that a toddler holds back or a child overeats has stemmed from previous lack. Yeah. Y'all saying the same thing. That's awesome. People ask, why would this country do this? It's because they hate us. That's it. That's the answer. It hates us. I hate planned adolescence. Oh, excuse me. That's not adolescence at all. Of technology. It isn't broke. Let us be able to keep using the phones. Hello? Like, why are you forcing me to get this phone? I agree. Everything looks different, darker here in America. Yeah, it does. It does. It's just different. Like, will there always be struggle? Yes. Will there always be poor people? Yes. Right. Like, but I think that the way that this country operates is just really wild to me, and what we're comfortable with, right? Like what we're comfortable with saying, and people saying, people saying that this is a low skilled job. What does that even mean? Like, we're so comfortable with harmful language. It's wild. Anyway, we're about to wrap this up because we're going on 3 hours, but happy birthday. Thank you. It's the month. I hope you continue to speak your truth to help others reach their truth. Thank you for reminding me that work is not my everything. You're reaching the people you're supposed to. Thank you. Yes. And no, your work is not everything. Like your work is great, right? Like you should like what you do, for some people. But yeah, that's not who you are. Your worth is not dependent upon your work, your effort, your striving, your doing, which is the exact opposite of everything here. But yeah. Let's see. Right. I still want my Boost Mobile crypto. Oh my God, no. I remember in high school, people had them phones and that's all you heard up and down the hallways. That and like go-go songs playing from speakers on phones. It was too much. But yeah, that's funny. Yes, Hope is dropping gems. Okay. Educate us, please. Oh, sorry. I put my phone down and stepped away just to listen. Y'all dropping bars. Aw, yay. I'm glad. And yes, I appreciate y'all. I really appreciate that y'all come and share and educate us. It means a lot to me. As my mom would say, thank you for being you. Oh, thank you. Wishing you all good things. Be well and see you on the next live. Thank you so much. Yes. Happy birthday, Aquarian. Yay. Thank you. Happy New Year, everyone. Happy New Year's, everyone. Happy early birthday. Thank you so much. And happy birthday to Marcus. Your birthday's on Sunday. Woo woo. Another year older. But yes, shout out to y'all. I appreciate y'all spending y'all evening with me. The whole point of this thing, we kind of went on a tangent, but either way, the whole point is do not sleep on yourself. Do not sleep on yourself. You are doing amazing. You're doing wonderful. Like if all you did last year was survive and make it to here, you're worthy of celebration, right? Like, and even if you didn't, you're still worthy of being celebrated. I was talking about my grandmother and how she passed and she didn't make it to 2023, right? But her legacy still lives on because she lived. And I'm glad that she was able to plant these seeds in me, in all her grandchildren, and her children, and the people that she touched. Understand that like your legacy is more than just your kids. It's more about the money, the business, all these things that just kind of, I mean, kids are important, family's important, but it's really about like the impact you make on the world. Everyone leaves a legacy, but what is your legacy? That's the point. And do not sleep on yourself. I do want to ask you, this is one thing I want y'all to consider before you wrap up. What are some things you've slept on yourself about? Right? What are some things that you're like, you know what, I didn't celebrate that like I should have, or I felt shame around this thing, or I wasn't able to really take up space and be honest, right? Like what things have you downplayed? Because there's so much you've accomplished already. There's so much you've accomplished already. Some of y'all have degrees, y'all talked about here. Some of y'all have kids, that's huge. Some of y'all have jobs. Some of y'all have like mourned. Some of you all have healed through some things. Like it's a big deal. Like your being alive, your doing, your being is huge because it's hard. And so I really want to make sure that you are celebrating it. Have you even acknowledged it? Graduating, surviving, healing? Because everything in this culture is all about moving on quickly to the next thing. We don't really savor the moment, right? Like we're not really savoring the achievement. It's all about like, yeah, I did this thing. Now I got to be on to the next thing, right? Like, no, take time to actually be present and to celebrate yourself, to see yourself as worthy because you're doing a phenomenal job. If you don't have no New Year's resolutions, you're doing a phenomenal job. Okay. Nothing's culture is sacred, but you can create a culture in which everything is sacred. Every person you know, every encounter, spending time with yourself, resting, relaxing, right? Like wasting time that we talked about earlier. Like that is worthy of celebration. And being grateful for every moment, every breath, every miracle, right? Because a breath is a miracle. Like there are some people who can't breathe, you know what I mean? Without help or can't breathe in general. Like you being able to take a deep breath is a miracle. Just remain grateful, thankful, and remain in awe of what we've experienced, accomplished, and who we are and who we're becoming, right? Like it's exciting to look forward towards the future, but I think it's even harder sometimes to look at the present and to see what the present has because everything is in the future. Like, oh, I have wonderful things coming up and blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, but like, no, right now is enough. Right now you are enough. Right now you're worthy of celebration. So put on your little party hats. We're going to put together a party or something soon. Don't worry, but you're enough. You're enough. I needed to hear this. The best is always celebrated first. Yeah. I celebrate that I showed up even when broken. Yeah, absolutely. Showing up is hard. So yeah, celebrate yourself. But yes. Also, okay. But yes, I hope that you all have a wonderful evening. Thank you so much, everyone, for sharing, for spending time with me this evening. Let's see. Where did Marcus think? Okay, yes. Marcus says, thank you, everybody, for the birthday wishes. Yes. So everyone have a good evening. I'm going to go back and read all the comments and things like that. Thank you for this discussion. Love yourselves, love each other. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye. Yay.